Twitter.
Right now. Right now.
What?
I don't know.
Damn, son.
Hello, Internet.
Oh, are we live?
Yes.
Hey.
It takes me no time at all when someone says we should go online. I click one
Hey guys.
button. Now.
So this is episode 89.
89.
89.
Nice. Oh, wait.
What's that?
Which fake Mountain Dew did you use?
I used real Mountain Dew.
Okay.
I was instructed by Harlow to use real Mountain Dew. So I did.
I
didn't
offered.
use Mountain Thunder or Mountain
I didn't instruct so much as
Mountain Ass
offer.
Blast or whatever they are.
Mountain Ass Blast. Yikes.
Don't buy that kind.
Yikes.
I'll use Mountain Explosion.
See? Mountain Ass Blast. Mountain Explosion.
Mountain Ass Blast.
Ass Blast.
Hey, look at that. We're online. Maybe.
Are we?
Sure did.
Are we?
Retweet that tweet.
Oh. There's a tweet to be twatted? Or whatever.
Yes, or whatever.
Oh, you know, whatevs. I like Twitter. I hope it dies a horrible death soon.
In the heat death of the earth.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, why are we just... You're not flying to Hawaii for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, Scott's already in the chat. Like,
Oh.
I thought you were...
Well, I mentioned
flying
it last night.
Oh, Hawaii?
No, it's not until September.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
No. I go in September. I was just...
He was planning
Flights
it
were
last
being
night
booked.
during
There
the
was
show.
literally a flight booked during the show.
Maybe that's what that
Oh,
chime was. Maybe
that's-
it was your airport app.
No.
Okay.
I don't have
I still
airport
don't know what
apps.
that was.
I don't
No
fly
idea.
enough.
I couldn't tell from the...
Like, I didn't have a notification on my phone?
I didn't either, but like editing the show today,
No,
I
it
could
was
not,
like a ghost.
I couldn't even tell where it was coming from.
Yeah, it's bizarre, because... Like, that is quite literally the Find My iPhone noise. Like, if I did that. Oh, shit, I just wrong button. That helps.
Oh, now you're finding someone else's iPhone.
See, that was the noise we got. That's like the where the fuck's my phone thing.
The fuck my phone.
Which you can do from the watch or, an app if you've lost your phone. But
I wonder if maybe I hit...
Oh, the truth is coming out.
But I mean,
Yeah.
nothing ever popped up.
if you get that little quick launch thing and you click that.
Yeah, you know what? That's where my phone. That's where it was
Yeah. if you
when I
find
looked at it. How do you get to that though?
Oh,
there
the
it
truth comes out.
Swipe up.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Sorry.
indubitably,
Sorry.
motherfucker.
Good job. Yeah.
Okay, it was me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Fuck you, Chuck.
All right.
Why are you doing that shit?
I just like make it harder for me to edit. Because I'm an asshole. Nobody argue that.
No, Chuck. You're great.
I like how the room just got silent. Like,
You're great, Chuck.
yeah, well, he finally realized it. That's son of a bitch.
You're great, Chuck. Just like America was at one point in time.
Yeah, like
Great again.
America was great like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, it was literally only about 35 days ago. Shit.
That is the best, though, when you expect somebody to leap to your defense and they
Yeah.
just never... Or like fishing for a compliment.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Keep fishing
All
if
right,
you
then.
feel it's true.
oh, it's great. So great. Just great. Man. We got some video games to talk about.
Hey, did I write
It's a
great?
good thing we're doing no quarters then.
I know.
There
We
you
took it's been a while.
It sure has.
It's been a while.
Oh,
Been a
wow.
long time.
It has been such a long time.
Yes.
I just want to make you feel better for not leaping to your defense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Give you a little of that Enterprise love.
Thank you. So good. Best TV theme song ever.
Enterprise?
Yeah.
He's lying. This is Chuck. We're talking about Chuck and music. The
Enterprise are the ones, they'll pick you up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Why did they make a Star Trek show
Are
about
they
that?
the ones that drive around with like the car all wrapped in packing? Yeah, shit.
Yeah, so you
It's
can't
wrapped
see
in
where you're
craft
going.
paper.
Really fucking dangerous.
It just crashes into everything wherever it goes. Yeah. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's Enterprise.
They'll pick you up.
So is that why nobody likes that show? Because it was just about
It was about a rental,
space rental cars.
Yeah, I mean,
Space rental car wrapped in paper.
Yeah, it wasn't very exciting.
Yeah, they just drove around the galaxy like they didn't own it.
Yeah.
It's like, let's fucking launch off that. It's a rental. Woo! Enterprise.
Oh man, there's no ashtray.
Don't tell me I can't fucking smoke in here.
I'll smoke on the bridge, on the holodeck,
Nah, they ain't had to go holodeck.
Ain't having
wherever
a
Whoopi
project.
Goldberg is. Smoke with her. I assume Whoopi Goldberg is in all the Star Trek shows, right?
Sure.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Why not? She had a cool hat.
That is a good reason to
Yeah,
be on all the Star Trek
Yeah,
shows.
you make a good point.
Yeah, I do.
She had a cool hat.
Was she in the future or the past?
Yes.
What do you mean?
In the movie in Star Trek that she was in? That
Yes.
She was in.
Both.
It's all in the future for us.
Well, yes, there's that. Are you talking? Did you see Generations? Is that what you're asking about?
one? No, it's the First Contact she was in, wasn't she?
Oh, did she show up in that one too?
Probably.
I know she had a major part in Generations because
Yeah.
she was like
She was one of the
people
Terrence
that
Stamps.
yeah, she got taken away by the whatever the energy wave thing. Mm-hmm. It's one of the Terrence Stamps.
Yes. She was all like, "Hey, time is the fire in which we burn."
No, that was Terrence Stamps. I mean Terrence Howard. Time is the fire in which we burn.
Good old Terrence Howard.
Yeah,
He also talks like Ice-T.
he does a little bit.
No, he just doesn't. He's like Ice-T without the lisp. All right.
All right.
So should we record a show?
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, we're supposed to podcast. We're not just talking about Whoopi Goldberg on Star Trek.
Talk more Star Trek.
Yeah. She rented a lot of space cars. To
She
people.
has not shown up. I don't remember
Star Trek
what
Enterprise.
season she started. I think at least second season. Third, yeah, because she was like legit a fan and was like, "Hey, I want to be on that show."
Yep.
Well, I'm glad
Just
it
like
worked
just
out
like
for
just
her.
like Danny DeVito in season 2 of Always Sunny. He's like, "I want to be on that show."
Well, he was
those kids
also
are
wasn't he a
fucking crazy.
producer?
No, not in the beginning.
Wow. I
No, he would like literally reached out to him. I like what you're doing. I want in.
you kids got moxie.
What?
Gather up the fam and join us.
Yeah. What?
You're the least hip thing on the planet.
Oh, I don't even read your things before I retweet them now.
Dumby Dumber.
Don't be dumb.
I can't. I didn't even read that. And then BJ's. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, BJ? He's like, I'm phonetically reading Chuck's tweet. Dum be dum der.
The best tweet.
Did that even end up on anything?
I pulled the clip out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be
Yeah,
dumb.
I think it was.
You mean the magazine?
All right.
Got him.
that was
all right.
it was a belt.
Typeface.
All right. Let's do this.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
I don't know.
You just threw something, right?
Oh, I just threw the piece of
Oh.
paper at him
Oh.
because he threw it at me.
Welcome to No Quarters, episode 89.
It's a motherfucking video game podcast.
Wait, what's that voice I hear?
What?
It's the dulcet tones of me.
It's a special guest, BJ.
That's right.
Yeah,
I like that you've been relegated to special guests now.
he is.
On No Quarters, yes.
Yeah, the regulars are me, Mackie.
Me, Chuck.
Me, Harlow.
And me, BJ. Wait, no, I'm not a regular. I'm a special guest.
You're a special guest.
You're the
But I
and.
am fairly regular.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's good to hear. unlike our release schedule.
Glad you got your shit together.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it took a little longer than usual after the Fody episode. To
We've been
come back.
busy.
Yeah, we've been busy, but we've played some games. And that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah, for this show.
Yeah, if they're good games.
Enjoyable bad games. I mean, wait.
No.
Shit.
They got one
We're crossing all the streams here.
Yeah.
They get 1 to 5 effects after Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
I guess we'll start with the newest one, which I have played,
Okay.
which is Neo,
right.
a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Ooh.
Yeah. By Team Ninja, the people who brought you Ninja Gaiden.
Huh.
And basically, yeah, this is Ninja Gaiden with the stamina bar of a Dark Souls type game. And I quickly realized that it is extremely my shit.
Well, all right.
Heavily my shit.
Jam on it.
Briefly describe what you mean by like Ninja Gaiden.
Kind of, it's a third person, lots of swords, a lot of fast combat, and basically set level paths through it. Where this one, it's not like Dark Souls where it's a world that interconnects everything. It's like, all right, you're on this level now. And then you're playing this level, and there is an end boss, and then that level's over. So it's like the old, an old type video game, but it's very much about not just timing, but which types of attacks you're using and when you're dodging and creating combos and that sort of thing. But you also have to manage a stamina bar, which is kind of the biggest reason a lot of people have trouble with Dark Souls is because you can't just mash buttons. And this is much the same way.
Well, that's how Ninja Gaiden became eventually. It was like, I don't know, if I press buttons fast enough, he'll probably do some cool shit.
Yeah. And this one is kind of... it
takes that away. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can do the cool shit. You just know that you can't keep trying to do it because eventually your guy's going to get tired and then...
Not like people that supposedly get good at Tekken by just...
playing Eddie.
Yeah, I don't know, if I wiggle the stick and mash enough buttons, he will do cool shit.
That's the only way I was ever any good at any fighting game.
Yeah. But no, it is set in 1600s Japan. So already you have kind of like the whole samurai aesthetic going on for all the missions that you have. And this one, it's got a lot of depth, I can tell already, as far as the combat goes, because you have 5 different starting weapons you can pick from. You can have like a normal sword, you can have dual swords, you have a spear, you have a giant axe, and then you have, I guess it's like, I forget the name of it, but it's that kind of stick with like a hooked thing on the end of it, but it also has a chain. It's supposed to be like the hardest one to use. I haven't even touched it yet, but it is, you've got all those, and then you have 3 different stances you can use. One that's like up is your power stance, you get your middle one that you block and you can do that sort of stuff, and then there's a fast lower one that's more about dodging. So, and you can mix any of those on the fly as you're fighting anything. So it's okay to get, like, you can get by just using the middle stance and not get too deep into that, but if you really want to learn how to fight different enemies and do that, you can learn all the stances and figure out which weapons work best for you. And
so there are advantages to using a different stance in combat?
Yes,
okay.
Very much. Right. Like if you're using the power stance and you can time it right, that's what I use normally, and I'm just like annihilating dudes, like normal mobs, so to speak.
Gotcha.
And there's also, it has some damn satisfying animations, which is kind of where the Ninja Gaiden stuff comes in, where you just fucking lop a dude's head off, and you just feel awesome when you do it. Because you'll just dive in, dive on the guy, dodge one way, and then just take the swipe, and his head just kind of bounces off, and he drops loot.
Oh,
like out of his head hole?
Does it fountain out of his neck?
Oh, the blood fountains
coins.
out.
Yeah.
But,
Just coins like Sonic, like Sonic's rings, just right out of his fucking neck.
Yeah, it's great. But it's a lot more forgiving, I feel, than Dark Souls was, because, okay, you die. You've lost what's known as your Amrita, which is your currency that allows you to level up. But that's about it. Like, that's all it's good for.
So you lose your souls.
Yeah, which are your... Well, the difference is, like, in Dark Souls, souls are the only currency. So, like, if you want to buy a new weapon, you have to have souls. If you want to buy a higher level, you have to have souls. Whereas this one, the Amrita, only buys you new levels. Okay. And so if you die, it's not like you lost all your money. You won't be able to level up for a while. But you also build up a meter where you have a spirit animal. That is your spirit animal.
All right.
And I picked a fox as my starting one, which makes me basically I get a giant fire weapon, and you can go nuts killing things. Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Who does your fox slay?
All the demons.
Cool.
But yeah, they have your standard, guys running around with swords, and then there are bigger demon enemies that you can spawn that kind of only show up the one time until you kill them, that are very difficult to kill because they have a lot of health, and they will just murder you if they get close enough to kill you.
Are those the Revenants, or is that a different thing?
That's kind of a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah. These are called yokai.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah. And
I've seen some like Let's Play type stuff on this.
I mean, they're very cool designs. I mean, they're all very similar, at least the ones I've seen so far. And they show up on your map as like this weird swirling black cloud, and then you get near them and they will appear, and then you're it's time to battle kind of thing. But I guess it's satisfying the Dark Souls itch in a way that it definitely feels like more of an, I don't want to say entry level thing, but it's a lot easier to get into because the penalty for death is not just so overwhelming, and you don't get to a point you're like, fuck me, and because when you die, you can go back to your grave and get your Amrita back, and you also gain the power that you've built up on your spirit animal, which builds up pretty quickly. I mean, like, you could activate it probably every 20, 25 kills.
So this doesn't sound any more punishing than, like, your average MMO. Like, you have to go back to your corpse to get your shit back, but that's about it?
Yeah,
and other than you...
Yeah, and if you
you're
die...
probably going back to where
if you die again, you lose whatever was there on the corpse.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you
Which really only came into play for me when I got to the boss battle, because the boss battle is a locked-off area, and so... You pick up your grave, and then you die again, and then you have to go back and pick up that grave. And it's kind of like, what happens is you can't build up the power in your spirit animal to attack better. So what happens is you keep going back, and it's empty, and then you die, and it's empty again. But when you go to the shrine, which is the same thing as a bonfire in Dark Souls, where that's where you level up and do all your stuff, you can actually call it back to the shrine so that you can build up the power in that again, but you will lose all of the Amrita that was at the gravesite. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, yeah, you can lose that, but at least it's a calculated risk because, and it also makes boss runs easier because you can just run to the boss, basically fill up the meter on that guy, run to the boss, activate it and see if you can kill him, and then get back to, if you don't, then you just call it back to the shrine and you can keep going. Yeah. So it's...
This sounds much more like my jam than the Dark Souls Bloodborne model.
It is because your stamina does not drain as fast. Like Dark Souls, it feels like you take 2 swings and then
it's gone. Yeah,
and then you have to wait for the meter to come back while something's just going nuts on you. Whereas
and if you're blocking, it comes back real slow, right? Doesn't it? Because if you're blocking, doesn't your meter not really refill so fast?
Yeah. I mean, you can block in this one too, but it's almost feels like it's not really designed that way. But it's also not designed like Bloodborne, where Bloodborne was like, no, you can't block ever. You have to basically
dodge roll,
well, you have to dodge roll and then you have to like parry everything, or it's you don't have any other options. And this one, it's a good combination of all those things, and it feels more like a Ninja Gaiden game than a Dark Souls game to me, honestly. Like if they didn't have that stamina meter, it would basically be like a Ninja Gaiden game, because you also have you have long range rifles and bow and arrow, and you have explosive arrows. And
I mean, I know someone will just yell at me for butchering it, but I'm curious if they were like, hey, let's make basically Samurai Gaiden,
Yeah.
And then someone was like, well, but Dark Souls is really popular. Like maybe we should ape some of that.
Yeah. It feels like they took the best parts of those things.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and they've designed the levels, when you complete a level, but they've also designed them so there's the shortcuts that Dark Souls have, where I got to this other side of the roof and I could kick the ladder down, and now I can just go straight to that ladder and get there without having to do all that other fighting this time. And there's also tons of loot. It's kind of got the Diablo type loot system where it's like, okay, this is a rare thing, and you're leveling up all these weapons.
Chuck just looked at me like you said a trigger word. I was going to start frothing in the mouth.
You said it's extremely your shit. I think it's becoming Harlow's shit right now in front of us.
It sounds good.
It's one of those cases, honestly, like I bought it digitally, but I almost wish I had bought the disc version so that I could be like, here, try it out. I might just have to have you over to try it at some point.
No demo yet, I guess.
It was weird. I missed them, but there was an alpha and a beta that were only for 4 or 5 days each.
Yeah.
But they actually granted you stuff in the game for when you came back. Like there's an extra mission that unlocked because of that. Yeah, which I mean is
they
a nice
should do
reward.
more stuff than that.
Yeah,
like that.
they should also.
Well, considering you're kind of helping them do their freaking job.
Yeah. And apparently a lot of people complained about a lot of things in, especially the alpha, that they corrected for this game, which is I think why it's being so well received, is because I mean the combat it feels really nice. It does not feel clunky in the way that Dark Souls does, where Dark Souls is so measured and precise and punishing if you fuck it up.
Right.
And you're also using the face buttons, which I know a lot of people would prefer, especially on the PlayStation controller. Is your attacks are just square and triangle, and your dodge is on X. So it's like it's a lot easier to do those type things on the face of it, and just have the block and the long distance, the bows and arrows and that stuff on the triggers.
Now, think about using alphas and betas to demo your game, and then acting like this is your teaser, like you get to try the game early, and that is such like a horseshit thing for the industry to do.
They made it clear, and they
I know when they do it right.
On it.
This
very much sounds like a case of
if they listen to it. Yes, I'm just talking about the games industry in general. That is such a horseshit thing to do. That's like the grocery store going like, "Look, self checkout. Isn't this awesome?" It's like you don't have to hire someone to. Yeah. Now I have to unload and then rebag all my groceries. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like when Destiny kind of had that fully fleshed out beta.
Right.
And then everyone was like, my shit better carry over, right? I've been playing this for an entire weekend. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, no, you got to start over. And you start over and you realize nothing's different. They just took out that one line that Dinklage said that everyone hated.
That wizard on the moon.
Yeah.
That wizard came from the moon.
And then they replaced them all together.
Dinklage out altogether. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But if you like any of the Dark Souls type games, you will probably like this. If you didn't like them, this might, but kept wanting to get into them, but it was just too much. This game might be the better one to do that. And it's also, man, it's Japanesey as fuck too. There's some great stuff. Like the second level, you're guided through by a spirit cat. Yeah, that comes up, and it's good.
I think
it's
before
really
I try this in any fashion, I have to fire up Lords of the Fallen, because I know you said that's like kind of a shitty Dark Souls ripoff, but originally when you described it, it sounded like, okay, that might be the next notch up from Dark Souls that I needed.
It might be, but I
have it free. I mean, it was
one
of the
you got it free, so it's worth trying. But I think that one is too similar to Dark Souls in that it's very much people that made that played Dark Souls and said nobody else is making these, so we might as well try and make one and put it in a Viking type Diablo setting.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Which I was fine with. I mean,
I was just saying, I don't expect it to ever happen where I suddenly come around and go like, well, I've been wrong all along. Dark Souls is the shit. But I feel like before I completely distance myself, I should try Lords of the Fallen, to see if that's close enough.
Yeah. If for nothing else, then just to delete it off your hard drive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I don't know how the storytelling goes, but I mean, this is very much a lot easier thing to get into than Dark Souls, I think. And that may be just my experience with the other games helping me through this one, but the combat feels a lot more like a 3D action game that you'd probably prefer playing.
Okay.
So, but it is extremely my shit, because I got it just being like, yeah, Dark Souls with samurais and in Japan in the 1600s, yeah, let's do this. And, I got a lot better than that, so.
Groovy.
Yeah, I recommend it highly.
So would you say like the Dark Souls games have what you might call a steep learning curve?
Yes.
Yes, Chuck, they do.
Cool.
Can you name other things that are steep?
Why, yes. There was a game that
The
came
cost
out.
of bread these days. Am I right?
I hear snowboarding games are steeped in a deep tradition of snowboarding on mountains.
See, I would have been much better if you punned like that. Oh, would you say this was steeped in Japanese mythology?
Yeah.
Speaking of steep.
Right. A game that came out late last year called Steep.
Steep. I have
it's-
played Steep.
No, what, you have?
Yeah.
When?
A couple months ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't have to tell you.
All right then, fine. She lives in Canada.
Yeah. No, Tobias was really excited about Steep and bought it, pre-ordered it, the Mega Edition, like a year ago, pretty much.
So this game, it seemed pretty cool when they showed it off at E3, and sometimes these extreme sports games are like, yeah, I'll check that out. But man, this thing just dropped. Like, it just came out with zero fanfare. It just, sometime in December it came out, and then I think 4 weeks later I was like, oh yeah, Steep came out. That's weird.
Yeah, the E3 thing was like, hey, tech demo motherfuckers, look at this shit.
Yeah. And then
it was
nothing.
like one of those things. It was like, look at this, we recreated the Alps, and
Yeah.
and then it was just
Nothing.
like, hey, the game came out. I was like,
Yeah. So
you just snowboard.
I rented it because I was like, well, sometimes maybe they don't advertise games because they suck. I don't know. That might be true in the case of Steep. It's so it's divided up amongst 3 activities basically. It's skiing, snowboarding, and wingsuit gliding. And all I wanted to do was wingsuit glide. I just wanted to fly through whatever dumb things they'd set up to wingsuit through. But there's just not enough of that.
So it's third person, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not like the Far Cry wingsuit.
No. It looks all right. I'm starting to notice more and more games now have just decided, fuck it, we're going to make the text as tiny as possible, and everything on your map is going to be so small you will never be able to pinpoint your cursor on it exactly. You'll lock on to 4 other things that are near it. Yeah, it kind of just seems undercooked a bit. Like, they had to get it out before the end of the year.
Maybe they should have let it steep a bit more.
It's also really difficult.
Yes, it is not easy. Even like the tutorial is not really telling you anything except like, here's a mountain. You should probably go down it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, you didn't have enough skill points when you finished. And you're like, well, you didn't tell me how to earn any.
Doing tricks is so counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Most of
nothing
the-
like an SSX or
No.
a Tony Hawk.
Most of the controls do not feel like they
More like
should.
the Skate 3 kind of shit.
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's just like you think
It's like
your
the Tony
brain
Hawk ride.
Yeah, like you
It doesn't
think
work
you're-
like you think it should.
you think you're moving the way it's supposed to, but it's actually in no way doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. You gotta hold, like... It's like all the pro stick bullshit
Yeah.
of all of those EA games just wrapped into one.
Yeah. It didn't feel right. It looks okay. It just, I don't know. It's kind of, and there's a lot of online bullshit in it.
Oh, yeah.
Just a lot of just like, hey, there's 600 people on this hill, and their ghosts are going to be racing all around you, and don't let that throw you off or anything. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's like always online. It's one of those games you can't play it offline, which is kind of bullshit. Especially when I was trying to play it, which was around the holidays, and that's when everyone decides to hack.
Yeah.
So, it's all right. I would say if it was a Games with Gold title, it would be worth it.
So if it was
I'd buy
given
it for
to you
free.
for free,
Well, how many games do we get for free that we never play? Because we're like, who gives
Yeah.
a shit? I would probably play a good 10, 12 hours of this if
Yeah.
it was free. If it goes on some clearance sale, $10, $15, I would be tempted to pick it up.
it was a weird one that just felt like it got dumped.
Yeah,
and
totally.
not promoted or anything. They were
Right.
just like,
It just-
let's move on. Let's
Yeah.
cut our losses and go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known about it except for Tobias.
Right.
And then eventually you talking about it 3 months after it
Well, I
came
remember
out.
we were in the chat, and I posted a thing like, this came out. This has been out for 3 weeks. And none of us knew. And we're kind of on point when it comes to video games coming
Yeah.
out. We kind of know when stuff comes out. And all of us were like, oh, yeah, that thing. So,
I mean, I was jazzed when I saw the tech demo because I like kind of open world dumbass games that don't really necessarily have a point.
yeah.
And
it's that.
Okay.
It's just not
Well,
cohesive
the
enough.
point is points.
Right.
but
Yes.
sure.
yeah, but I mean, if you can just if I can just magically teleport to the top of a mountain and go down on a snowboard and do it again.
You can.
You can do that in
Sure.
this.
You just click like one of the thumbsticks and you'll warp right back to wherever.
Yeah, I'm
But-
kind of okay with dumb shit like
But it's just the game is not telling you anything,
Sure.
and there's a healthy mix of you can not beat us over the head with your tutorial, but you need to at least show off what your game is. And I just felt like right away, just doing the tutorial stuff, I was like, "You're not telling me enough. I don't know what I'm doing." And then the tutorial's over, and it's just like, "Go!" And I'm like, "To do what?" So I just looked for wingsuit missions.
So it's one of those that, like, we talk about some games have too much tutorial. This
Yeah.
one has gone too far in the other direction. And just
Yeah,
not
it's
giving
like
you
it
any-
has a tutorial that doesn't bother to tell you anything. It's just that this is a tutorial. So
Yeah. It's really cool to just go down the mountains. Like that stuff, it all looks really good.
Yep.
The snow physics, snizzics, if you will.
oh man,
they use that in the Wolverine game.
Snizzics.
That's snickstick.
Oh, you're right. Yes, subtle difference.
Yes.
I cannot speak anymore because of those 2 words now. But no, all the physics and everything seem to be really cool.
Yeah.
They'd have to be if there's snow everywhere, but But that's about the most enjoyment that I got out of it, was just like kind of going down a mountain and,
yeah, it's when you get
doing
down
that
to
experience of me if I could snowboard, which would be just going down the mountain in a crazy path, not necessarily doing any tricks.
Yeah,
and
like,
if I try to do a trick, I break my head in 9 places. And
it's like, here's a groove in the mountain. I guess I'm supposed to ride in this like I'm, in a toboggan or some shit. But
right.
Then you get to the bottom and it's just like, he didn't do any tricks, idiot. You got to do it again. And you're like,
yeah.
You didn't tell me to do any tricks. There were no glowing areas that said trick here.
Yeah.
And the one jumpy thing looked like it was way over there, and I wasn't going over there. I was going down.
Last time I went over there, I flew off into the trees and died, so I'm not going there again.
No, game.
I'm not going to Sonny Bono my way down this mountain. Oh. Don't tell me it's too soon. That was like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, free would be great. $10 would be nice.
You saying the price is a little too steep?
Yes. These are all the things I'm saying.
There it is.
So did you have to go to any towers or anything to unlock parts of the map?
You kind of do. You have to reach the top of a mountain to unlock shit.
Okay.
And it is a Ubisoft game.
I know. That's where I was going with that. So I'm about to talk about another Ubisoft-ass game.
Uh-huh.
I went ahead and got Watch Dogs 2.
All right.
Watch Dogs.
So, do you remember Watch Dogs?
Yes.
Sort of?
Vaguely.
Well,
I remember not
I remember
liking
the
it.
2 hours I played and said, fuck this game, and deleted it.
Okay, well, we were all super jazzed about Watch Dogs. I think we were on tape as having said that
Oh, yeah.
times. That was going to sell consoles.
That was our launch game.
$300
Oh, yeah.
for a PlayStation, give it to me, or whatever. What,
I believe
don't
it,
know.
yeah.
But whatever, and we were all mostly disappointed by Watch Dogs.
Yes.
Well, Watch Dogs 2, they basically said, all that bullshit, nah. They're just like, we're going to make a sequel to a game and make it nothing like that game, basically. Because I've played, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours of Watch Dogs 2. I don't think I've shot a real gun once.
Really?
Yeah.
He
Okay.
just tases bros.
Yeah, I tase dudes. I'm trying to play an actual no-kill playthrough, and not I'm some sort of pacifist. I'm just curious if I can never touch an actual gun. If I happen to accidentally run somebody over, whoops. But I'm not going out I'm going to murder everyone. So a lot of the systems are back. I know you're going to groan, but kind of the stealth thing is still back, where it's all right, hack into this camera and mark all the dudes.
Yeah.
It just feels like it flows much better than it did before. And it feels like if you do get caught, it's not the end of the world, even on my no-kill playthrough, because you've got a pretty fast reloading little taser gun, and if they get close, you've got this wicked fucking yo-yo thing. He's basically
like
got
a rock and a sock.
Yeah, he's basically got a murder yo-yo. I don't know how to describe it, but
that he chokes people out with.
Yeah, you choke people out and just crack them over the head.
You Batman them.
But the thing is where this game is 1,000 times better than the first one is they basically just leaned into the fucking squall of hacker culture. This is the perfect storm of they're just going up the wall, and I think they're going to crest it instead of all dying.
Right.
Because it is just so ridiculously self-aware to the supposed hacker culture out there that it's kind of glorious. I was basically 100% in on this game, and look, your tolerance for I don't like references, whatever. If that turns you off, if you make a vague reference,
then you should stop listening to Harlow say anything.
Sure, basically, yeah. But I was pretty much 100% in when it's not the first mission, but it was when I finally got through to the open world, and they were like, "Here's your main missions and some side bullshit you can do." One of the first ones was, "Hey, there's basically a pharmaceutical douchebag who bought an exclusive rap album and is keeping it for himself. Go over there and hack his shit."
Well,
and I was
from the headlines,
and I was like, "Cool, let's fucking do this." Because, yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% for just straight up plucking something out of the news, but when it's something that makes you so angry and you're so mad that a douchebag like that lives on this planet, and then you give me the opportunity to take out his proxy in game, I'm okay with that. Because the way you end up finally doing this is, whatever, it's spoilers, it's one of the first fucking missions. You go to this house I'm sorry. First, you go to the rapper in question's house. You hack into his computer and steal like one song that he was sort of working on, but it's for the greater good because you're going to use that to like pretend like it's the new album, and then you record him saying a few things. So you basically make a rapper soundboard and go and call this farmer bro from outside of his house and be like, this. "Yo, it's me," and he's like, "Oh, hey, cool." Like you're gonna. He's like, "Give me that paper," and it's like, "Oh, okay, let me wire the funds and everything." And he's like, "Oh, can I get a sample of the music first?" So you play the track and everything. And he's like, "Cool, wiring the money." And he wires the money, and it's basically like a children's cancer fund or something like that. You know, all the things that guy would probably hate giving money to.
Yes.
And so like you basically, and then you just start playing the same loops over in a row until he realizes he's on a fucking soundboard talking to a soundboard. He's like, "Wait, what? Where's my fucking money? The children's fund. Fuck you!" And he just loses his shit, and you get to sit there and watch it as long as you want to watch this guy freaking out on the phone. It's
awesome.
Yeah, and then. Like, you've got little RC car, you've got, like, a drone thing I think you can eventually get to, like, a pilot around. It's just, they give you, like, all the nerdy hacker tool toys that you would want to go with in a game like this. And the city is well crafted. Like it's basically, I believe it's New York now. Like, I just...
San Francisco.
No, it's San Francisco, yeah. What was the first one? It was Chicago, yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking it was one of the two big cities. But, yeah, I mean, it's... Apparently, like, people have said you can drive places and things are where they should be. Like, someone basically drove to their neighborhood and they must have, like, Google Street View parts into the game, essentially.
Nice. Does it have the dumb Foursquare check-in thing like the first game had?
I don't remember that. Like, go to a place. No, I haven't noticed that.
Because, like, you could become a mayor of dumb bullshit in the first one.
No. I think because they realized that died in real life that they...
There's no such thing anymore.
I mean, you still, like, every single person is, like, either steal some money, launder some money out of their account, read their text messages, like something, every single person you pass. So there's still that kind of fun. And they say basically like a little blurb about them. So if you're playing some kind of weird morality game like I am, you can basically be like, this guy's into midget porn. Oh, let me steal his money. Like this person,
Okay.
Volunteers at a hospital. Like, I'll leave you alone. So like, you have these little like quick blurbs about them, and you can actually say like, you know what, I'm not going to hack them because that they're good people.
They got it hard enough.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's basically everything the first game should have been, and kind of like Titanfall 2. It's unfortunate that a lot of people are basically already on the fuck Watch Dogs ban, and they're just never going to try this game. And same thing with Titanfall. It's like, I got burned once. It's like, no, Titanfall 2 is really fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
And like I said, it was kind of the year for that, of like sequels that fixed
the redemptions.
Yeah, like part 2s that fix things. But yeah, I mean, Watch Dogs
2s that fix things.
Yeah, I mean, Watch Dogs 2 is just, it's worth playing. Like everything I think you thought you were going to play in Watch Dogs 1 is in 2.
Okay.
And like I said, the hacking culture is just ridiculous. Like your tolerance for that too. Like, because I mean, there is a character who literally wears a mask with LED emoticons essentially on his eyes for his eyes.
Yeah,
like he talks. He has like a modulated voice, so he can hide his identity. But like he has emoticons come up that express how he's feeling.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, sure.
Yeah, and your secret, or at least the first secret layer, is like in a gaming like / comic book store. Like there's a secret panel in the back, and you can go talk to all the nerds in there. And like one guy's like, I can't believe my hand slipped, and it was going to be the best paint job ever. I had to lacquer the whole thing and start over.
So they just leaned super hard.
Super hard on all of it. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like if they made hackers now.
Yes.
That's kind of what, it's kind of that feeling where they swing and miss on a lot of things, but boy, do they swing hard.
Yeah.
You got to admire it. It's Casey at the bat.
I feel like because it's Ubisoft, they had to pull at least one person that wrote or worked on Blood Dragon onto this. There's somebody consulted. There is too much like self-aware shit. Like there is a point where there's a movie trailer for I don't know, some dumb action sci-fi hacker bullshit action movie, and they're like, we got to go steal that car. Like, that car, it's basically like the kit. It's like this autonomous car. They're like, we have to go steal that car. And like I said, it has some Blood Dragon-y feel to it.
Well, now you're selling me.
Okay. It is a big ass game, though. I will tell you that. So, like, if you're thinking about, getting Horizon Zero Dawn or Mass Effect Andromeda, maybe not the time to pick up Watch Dogs.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just saying it is a time consuming game.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'd almost started it, but I had just finished a big open world game.
Right.
I was like, no, 2 of these in a row, I cannot do that. So
Yeah. You are selling me on it, though.
Yeah,
sure.
Like I said, it's that's all I can say is it's everything you wanted Watch Dogs 1 to be. There might be some annoying shit, but what games don't have something that is a system you don't really care for?
yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's me again. I picked up. I basically rebought a game I bought almost at launch, and for some reason it just never clicked with me at the time. I basically rebought Rise of the Tomb Raider, but on PC this time.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I know.
The super
PC
version.
overlords and all that.
No,
But I mean,
It's a good version of the game.
yeah, it is. Because I've got a system that can make it look better than the Xbox can. I'm sorry, it's a fact.
no apologies.
And I don't know why. It's just like I really liked rebooted Tomb Raider, and I've never been that big of a Tomb Raider fan in general. I just liked what they did with the rebooted world. And I don't know why. I played like 2 hours of it right about when it came out, and it just was like a time it just didn't click with me. And I was like, man, I need to go back to this because of how much I like Tomb Raider, and I finally did, and I am now in the mood for Tomb Raider.
There you go.
Like, it's funny to me because when did this originally come out? Was it 2015?
Yes.
Like at the very end of 2015, like
Yes.
holiday? Okay, so I don't think I actually started until 2016 because I was racking my brain. I was like, I know I started this game about when it came out. Why did I not bring up the opening sequence and like the best sequence thing for Fodies?
I think you had started it like the month after.
Yeah.
I think we kind of sold you on it during the Fodies.
Okay.
Yeah, because Chuck and I both had it.
Yeah, and
Because that
Way
hoped
up
it
high.
highly.
that opening sequence is amazing. Like as far as set piece things in the game, and
It tells you exactly what kind of game you're about to play.
right, yeah. I mean, I just I found myself genuinely and not some sort of like this is the temperature of our world right now. There were points where I was just going, "Oh my god, she is a fucking badass!"
Yeah.
Like there are things you were doing in that game, and I'm like, "You are a goddamn amazing lady."
Yep.
Like, I mean, it is just like there is stuff that is happening. Is like balls of fucking steel. Like it yeah. But yeah, it 100% is now hitting me at the right time. And one thing that I guess bothered a lot of people about the first one, and I feel like I'm selling a game that's now a year and a half old, but a lot of people had a problem with the gruesome death thing in the first one.
It's scaled back a little bit. In this one.
There are like every once in a while you will do something and it's like, oh, but like most of the
there
time,
was one or two in particular where it was just like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
yeah, like I fell in a spike trap and that was like, oh Jesus! Like I actually like detected the trap and I just mistimed my jump and fell into the spike trap.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you just showed Spike going through her head, great. But like most of it's just like, oh, you fell into an abyss, not like you fell in and now let's watch her go down the river, and
Bounce
get
on the rocks.
crushed,
Yeah.
get crushed on the rocks.
Yeah.
I like I said, it's just everything about it is hitting me, and it was like super Steam sale, and I was like, you know what, archive copy, blah blah blah, you know,
And you get to shoot Russians.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did not kill the bear the first time. Like, don't you early on fight a giant bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Oh.
That was a little gruesome.
Yeah. Bear will fuck you up.
No,
Because
I took
I wasn't
care of
quite
the
sure how to fight the bear.
bear. Oh, no.
And you have pretty limited resources at the
All right.
time.
Yeah, to be fair, I just realized like one thing that may be kind of skewing my experience with this is like the one that they sold on Steam. That was the other thing I rejustified is it was like the Here's Everything edition,
Yeah.
the 20th anniversary edition
Right.
thing. So it was like, oh, well, it's like $22 and it's the season pass everything ever, and it'll look better. So okay, so I think I had a better bow or something or unlocked early on.
Oh,
so
right. Yeah, it probably came with like
yeah,
a...
I think I'm using like the Widowmaker bow or
Okay.
something like that.
That makes
I don't
sense.
know. So I probably took the bear down
Okay.
easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think I just had a rock.
Yeah.
I'm also,
I
actually,
had like a stick and deer guts.
I,
that
I'm
was my bow and
trying to
arrow.
play the game with nothing but bow and arrow. It hasn't completely worked.
It's satisfying as shit.
It really
Yeah,
is. But
it
like
really is.
there are a couple times like especially like the physics on wolves are so bouncy that when they get up close to you, it's like, no, you better pull out a real gun and just shoot that shit.
Yeah.
Although it's still dumb that every dude you kill has a machine gun and you can't pick it up.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
But there's ammo everywhere.
No, I know, but it's just like you're running around with a pistol for what seems like forever in that game, and every dude you're killing has a machine gun, and you can't pick them up. It's dumb programming.
Yeah.
So
it's not the best.
The funniest one is there is a point where you're going, you've crawled through a tomb and you're supposedly entering into this lost kingdom that people you think people haven't seen for 1,000 years or whatever, and there's an ammo crate right there, and I'm like.
Yeah,
the fuck is there? But 2 seconds later, you find that the actual the mysterious native habitats or inhabitants are living inside there. It's untouched, other than these protector people.
Yes.
Because for a second I was like, "What the fuck is there an ammo crate there?"
The tombs are cool too.
Yeah,
they really upped their game on that.
Yeah.
Considering the first one didn't have tombs in it.
The first one was all right.
There were tombs.
There was one towards the end.
No, but
they had the little challenge too.
Yeah, the challenge.
Oh,
but they were solve 3 puzzles and
Yeah.
then it's done.
Yeah.
They were so short, it was not worth it.
These are pretty short too, though.
Yeah, but they're more of set pieces.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And they're pretty cool.
Yeah,
And they have just the right amount of difficulty. I remember not being too I remember a lot of it being like figuring it out as I went, but not too frustrated to where I couldn't.
Yeah.
But it does help that they basically show you exactly where everything, it's like look for where the water is flowing and do something in that direction. So yeah.
Yeah.
I still love that game.
I wanted to play that, the Baba Yaga DLC.
Yeah, I need to go back and do that.
I
never.
I am playing that one. That's really good.
Yeah.
Is it tied into the game, or is it a separate thing on the menu?
So when you get to, I think, the Soviet camp is the level where it kind of opens up the world a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's where all that stuff is, and it becomes a new dot you can go to.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as you have a save past a certain point, it opens up. It's not post-game DLC.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was Dragon Age style, where it's this is on a completely separate, start a new save type thing.
No. They're integrated into the world.
Okay.
In fact, I didn't realize that I was playing DLC missions. I just found a guy, and he was like, "Hey, I'm hurt. Take me to this cave. I can't make it there by myself." Oh, there were wolves, and he was like, "Go clear out this cave of wolves." And then
everybody wants you to clear out a cave
I can I can make a habitat there, and then they make a little camp and give you side missions.
Okay. So it goes, because that guy's in the main game,
Okay,
but I
okay.
guess more of the missions he gives you are the other ones, probably.
Yeah,
Something
maybe
like that.
he was not the one that gave you the Baba Yaga. I mean,
either way.
there's a lady you find that sends you off to find her grandfather or something like that.
Yeah, or some garbage.
Well, he's like, my grandfather went to kill the Baba Yaga because it killed my mom years ago. And that level is fucking weird and it's pretty sweet. It does the I'm on drugs level, of video games. Everything gets fucking weird and
mandatory drugs level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every Far Cry game since, 2, half the game you had the I'm on drugs level because you had malaria. But I mean, I mean, you just had that moment where the vision goes blurry and oh god, I'm dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Cool. So, BJ,
Yes,
you've been playing a game.
I have. So have you.
I have.
You've been playing it more than I have recently, I think, though. So I'm going to let you take point on this one.
All right. Well,
I will spawn in on you.
there
Spawn
you
in
go.
on you after
yeah. We've been playing some Battlefront on PS4.
Is
The
that
old
the
Star Wars.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
you. We've been warring some stars.
Yeah. It clicked in pretty hard for me. And I was doing all the daily bonus challenges and just playing a bunch of matches every day.
Yep. You're pretty much playing once you got home.
Yeah.
Just about logging on once you got home and playing an hour or two or so.
Yeah, basically till my wife got home and then, had to make dinner and all that stuff. And food, who needs it?
ball and chain rolls in the door, it starts hitting me until I make a dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, I just like eating food, so.
Right.
That's
and
good.
usually that's a good way to rip me away from yet another match on Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, it definitely helps having the Ultimate Edition that has everything. I can see why people complained when it came out that there just wasn't a lot to do. Even though there are a lot of various mission types, there aren't a ton of maps. But the DLC definitely fixes that.
Right.
Because I bounce around through everything a lot, depending on what kind of challenge I have active and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and there's not a lot to do single player. Like, the single player stuff is really lacking.
Oh, yeah.
And they just said they're they said like a month ago, they're pretty much done with Battlefront. They're not going to do anything else. They're not adding anything to the game.
Well, they said 2 is coming out this winter.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and that'll have single player content and other stuff, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic looking game, and it's got that Battlefront thing of there's always some carrot on a stick for you to be going for.
Yep.
Always.
Yeah. I think I've gotten to the point where I'm finally done with Battlefront unless somebody's playing it and is like, hey, you want to play? I don't think I'm going to be hopping into it like of my own volition anymore. I'm at level 89 and I don't feel
there.
I don't feel the pull. Yeah, I know. There's
there.
11 levels left to go.
Yep.
Stop biting my buttons. The cat is biting my buttons.
Got a cat on his lap.
So I just don't feel the pull to finish those last, 11 levels. I might in due time, but I don't need to, I don't need to hop on every day and play 3 hours and, go through go through the routine anymore. I'm still kind of idly playing Base Command, which I guess we'll talk about a little bit later, which is in the companion app. But I've probably gotten as good at that game as I'm going to get, with maybe a couple exceptions, like with heroes and stuff. But
yeah, there are certain game modes I'm amazing, and then other game modes I am just the piece of crap that everyone wants to boot off their team because I'm so bad. And sometimes it's just the opponents I'm up against. Like some of those missions, especially on the Death Star ones, people have figured that shit out because the Death Star one is you do an attack run on all these Star Destroyers to take them out,
which is great.
Yeah, and then you're on the base and you're on the Death Star and you have to escort an R2 unit out, and that's basically running around on foot. And then you do the trench run after you beat that section,
which is great.
Yeah. But man, there are some people, like especially in that first section where you're trying to take out the Star Destroyers, where just like you won't even hear that you've been locked onto. You just die. And I'm like, wait, I'm in an X-wing. I had shields, and
some people are good enough that they don't really need to lock onto you to shoot you out of the fucking sky.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what? It's that whole thing that you always feel in multiplayer ones. It's like, how did I shot him 50 times, and then he walked over and shot me once in the foot, and I died. It's that same feeling sometimes.
Yeah,
and usually it's like trying to play on weekends. Was just like, nah, I think I'm good here. I can't play. I can't play against you. I'll play against the people that are just getting home from work.
Right.
Those are my people.
I want the people that have been beaten down by life.
Yeah.
Not the people that their life is Battlefront.
Yes, those are my people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All the beaten down, downtrodden, dinner making husbands.
Yeah. Okay, you gotta get off my lap if you're just gonna bite buttons.
Bite buttons.
Oh.
Little dickhead.
But it's as with any multiplayer game, it depends on your team and depends on who you're playing against. But there are plenty of maps that just you can do well because the other people aren't playing them the way they should. And so it becomes very easy to fucking murder them because they're just doing dumb shit and you're actually or not even murder them, but just do the objectives in the map and you're going to win and you're going to get a whole bunch of points and credits for it.
Yeah. It's the other thing about that game, like especially right now, is that at this point it's mostly veterans. Like not like support your troops veterans, but people who have been playing Battlefront for a long time, that are still playing it because they're good at it or they have that compulsion to play every day. So like everybody's way better than me. And everybody will be way better than you if you pick this game up now for like $12 with all the DLC.
Yeah, but I've been all right with that.
It's okay.
I think it helps. Honestly, it's sad to say, but it helps not having chat.
Yes.
Just I only turn on chat if I'm in a group, and never anywhere else. So
it doesn't have any voice chat in the entire game. Period. There's none in Battlefront. So you will never ever hear another person's voice unless you're in a party.
Oh,
that sounds great.
Which is super convenient.
Yeah.
You don't have to hear any 12-year-olds calling you the N-word.
Yeah. That helps.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I really
Nerf
cannot,
herder?
Yeah.
Yes.
The only thing I cannot understand about that game is when you exit a match, it takes 2-3 minutes to get back to a menu, and I cannot understand
It's
that.
DICE. I don't know what the fuck DICE does, but Battlefield 4, Battlefront, Battlefield 1, just fucking forever to get between stuff like that. I can't understand it. I don't know what they're doing wrong. I don't understand programming games at all, basically. But but especially that part, because not every game is so punishing. There are a lot more, it feels like now, that do shit like that, that are just not optimized well, I feel.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a DICE thing, because it happened in Battlefield 4, and it's happening in Battlefield 1.
I don't get it. If I want to know all of the the stats for the game, but I still want to quit, I can still quit after the game ends, and I'll get to see all of them scroll by, and then I'll still be waiting at the end of it for it to get back to the menu.
Wow.
And that's and that's the thing, is these are installed on the hard drive. It's not, we got to spin up the disk and find it. It's no, these are games that I don't get it. That part's frustrating. But I'm enjoying the shit out of that game. It's
good. When you're playing the game, it's good. And when you get on a run, you feel like a fucking space hero, man.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to, I should probably upload it to the No Quarters channel, that one run I had on Battle Station, which is the Death Star game mode. I kicked ass in the first segment. We destroyed the Star Destroyer. We destroyed the Star Destroyer real fast, and then I picked up a hero token and wasted face with Leia.
Yep.
And then the second group of people to get chosen for the trench run, I was one of those, and made the trench run in an A-wing flawlessly. It was
more like Sleia, am I right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Man, that one, there was one game.
Too soon.
There was one game where it was our party of just all 8 of us messing around, and you had some ridiculous number of kills in an A-wing on Bespin. You had 45 kills, and I'm just
all right that round.
What the fuck were you doing? I'm sitting there. I'm like, I think I shot something, and you're like, yeah, I'm best in the match.
Yeah,
45 kills.
What's interesting is
murdered everything.
If I can just sort of idly chat with somebody while I'm playing, and I don't have to I'm not trying to coordinate when we're playing a ground troop map. If I'm just flying around, it actually helps me to just be sort of talking to somebody, because it takes my mind off of thinking about it. I just go more instinctual, and
you get more zen.
Yeah,
Use the Force, perhaps.
Correct.
Yeah,
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
You switch off your targeting computer.
Correct. And I just I've played enough that I fly instinctually better now than I fly intentionally.
Oh, fly casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten better, but man, the flight stuff, it took me a long time to decide whether I needed to be inverted controls or normal. And flight, I inverted them because it was third person, and for some reason that tracked better for me.
I can't remember now. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I just pick up the controller and go. So it was probably inverted control.
Yes, I invert flight controls. I'm sorry.
Okay, 168 hours of Battlefront, to give you an idea. So
that's enough.
It was a long time ago that I set that control.
Yeah.
In a galaxy far, far away.
You should have made that joke into the microphone, Chuck. You would have been as funny as Harlow.
No, I would have been shouted down if I said that out loud.
Aw.
Aw.
But we like Battlefront.
Yep.
we definitely, I had a long streak of not playing anything else, and I felt, it was one of those, I almost felt bad. I was like, I need to play something else. I need to stop playing this.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to.
But when there's that carrot on the stick, there's always I need only just 5 more blaster kills, and then
the numbers go up.
Yeah, and then then the Skinner box changes.
And I'll still play. If anybody wants to hop online and invite me to a game, I'll play.
Do it.
Still game. I'm just not gonna pick it up intentionally anymore. I don't think there's not that draw. I don't need to punch the buttons.
Well, we need to get that group together again. That was fun that night.
We can do that.
Yeah. Because when I sucked, everyone just had fun and laughed.
Right.
I need to play with somebody because I've only ever played it just randomly. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've jumped in a game with any of y'all.
Then we'll need to play.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
It's good times.
I
Probably
somewhat
even
enjoy
get
it, but
Tobias in on it.
I think not realizing I probably would have turned off the voice chat, but yeah, it has a weird kind of emptiness, like a hollowness, without playing with somebody, like just playing with randos with no voice chat. There's, I mean, there's some satisfying like pew pew shooter stuff, but like I think that kind of adds to that whole emptiness feeling of it.
Yeah, and when there's no coordination because nobody's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just talk to. I just yell at the screen.
Sure. That works too.
That satisfies
It's
my.
therapeutic. Yeah.
I call them N-words like I was a 12-year-old boy.
Oh no,
Don't do that.
Nerf herders.
Yeah, I call them Nerf herders.
Okay, that's fine.
Who you calling scruffy looking?
You.
Oh no. So
Speaking of scruffy looking,
yeah, that
Sure.
Bruce Wayne. He's
Well,
a scruffy looking fella.
That engine's pretty scruffy.
Yeah. Chuck and I both finished Telltale Batman.
Yes. Yes, we did.
we talked about it on the Fody, and I had 2 episodes left. He had 1 episode left, so we completed it.
Yes, we did.
After your thoughts, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's
It's a great story.
a really good story. Like, I mean, it's one of those. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Walking Dead season 1, and I 100% turned on everything Walking Dead since. But like Walking Dead season 1 finished, and it was like, cool. Like, good. That was a good thing. And like they announced season 2, and I was like, nah.
I still haven't played it.
Yeah, I haven't touched it. I didn't play 400 Days. I didn't play I was done. Like I checked out basically at that time with Walking Dead. This I was like, where's season 2?
Yeah.
Like that in credit rolls, and it was like more. Give me more now, which is 100% what they haven't done for me before.
Yeah. It's strong. I mean, the storytelling in it is so strong, and the fact that they were able to just create their own Batman universe and do whatever they wanted to with the characters and not be bound to what you think the characters are makes that incredibly interesting.
Yeah. That keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. And I know it's just QuickTime events, but fucking dudes up as Batman is incredibly satisfying.
Yeah. There's a point I was sitting alone in my house starting up basically it's almost the start of episode 5, and there are events happening where it's like, okay, time to go be Batman, and I literally said, let's go Batman the fuck out of this shit by myself.
Yeah.
I was fucking pumped.
Yep.
I was ready to beat some fools down.
It's sad that there are so many points in the game over specific episodes where you are given the choice of how you want to approach a situation. Do you want to go as Bruce Wayne or do you want to go as Batman? And in your heart of hearts that the narrative needs you to go as Bruce Wayne, but you just want to go be fucking Batman because Batman is awesome. And they give you kind of a counterpoint for each choice. Like, you could go as Batman and probably fix the situation, but they're going to be freaked out if Batman shows up and maybe things will go wrong.
I generally chose Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, me too. I played it. I strictly played story. I didn't play it as like a power trip for me because there are choices that you could make in there that don't make any sense for the story they're trying to tell.
There was one I made a choice, and it was like I felt like the game chastised me for it, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like there was only one where it felt awkward. Like there was like, that is not really what I thought the outcome was going to be.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and that's kind of unusual for them. Usually there's something you pick and it's like, wait, no, I didn't think that would happen. And like I said, to me, there was one point where it was like, it wasn't even a choice. It was like,
yeah,
Batman has to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
there's Batmaning.
Well, no, I'm saying like there is something that has to happen in Batman folklore that I was like, this is why even make this a choice?
Yeah.
It has to be.
Batman.
It's got to be Batman.
there is a man who needs to be batted.
Batman has acted well, and the voices are all real good, even though it's Troy Baker. But he does a good Batman voice.
Oh, good.
And he has a distinctive Batman and Bruce Wayne voice, which is I always appreciate the people that don't go crazy with it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Troy.
not like, hi, I'm Christian Bale, I'm Batman.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne is definitely Troy Baker, just Troy Bakering.
Right.
Batman is Pepper.
I mean, he not to that extent though. Like
it's
more
electronically
it's
altered.
more it's more like the Kevin Conroy thing. It's more like, hey, no, I'm Batman.
Yeah. And you get to do a lot of detectiving. which is fun. I like the detective-ing. Just looking for clues.
Well, he is supposed to be the world's greatest detective.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's nice to see him using those skills.
It's good that he's putting that to use.
Yeah.
I do like, for some dumb reason, at the end, they reference the choice of color that you picked for your tech.
They sure do.
They make a custom line of dialogue that references the color that you picked.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but I was just like, fuck yeah, I did pick that color. You're right. Way to go, game.
I had Saints Row Batman too. So
Yeah,
don't worry.
that's the way to go.
it's fucking purple. Of course I was going to pick
It's
that.
dope. All your shit's purple.
Sounds pretty good.
Your back computer is just this big wall of purple.
Yeah, like the interior of the Batmobile is fucking purple.
So I need to play this game.
It's good.
It's real good.
I own it.
I
I
mean,
should play it.
and like we're totally praising it, but god damn, does their engine suck?
Yeah, their engine's a piece of shit.
Like I still cannot comprehend how we are now an entire generation better, and or I can play it on my computer in its powerhouse.
I mean, they're in,
and
like-
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're like 10 seasons worth of games in, aren't they?
This is a new engine. Like, this is not the original Walking Dead engine.
Really?
Yes, this is a separate engine.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
so there's a whole new host of issues in it.
No, they're the same ones. It's
Yeah.
just like shit will hitch up and like the dialogue and story keep going, but the visuals stop. And it's like, I'm missing what's happening.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
I mean, once it settles in, like there are actually some very clever QuickTime things, which I know sounds like an oxymoron, but there are like some satisfying ways that the QuickTime thing will like come from. Like, so let's say someone is slow motion coming down to attack you, the QuickTime event will actually come down with them, like the up arrow to or the left arrow to dodge or whatever.
they've started incorporating them into the environment, which
so
is really cool.
So once the thing finishes being hitchy, it's good.
Yeah. The worst part is always during the previously on Batman or whatever game of yours you're playing. Like, all the scene, because it has to generate whatever your choices were, they're all just, they get stuck. And it's like, this isn't helping me remember what I just did. I'd be happy to sit and wait for 2 minutes while you generate it in the background and then just show me a cutscene.
Yep.
But they try to render it on the fly, and it never works right.
There's a button that I never even clicked it. It's like crowd play.
Yeah.
I assume is that like Twitch plays where people random people just start voting on your choices.
People vote on what your choices
It's
are.
like the
I can't even imagine how broken that shit is.
well, it's basically like Quiplash, basically, where it's like you can stream it and everyone can log in with a code.
And do they just make your choice for you, or do they vote?
They're crowdsourcing the dialogue choice.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they can 100% like make the worst choices.
Yeah.
If you have a bunch of.
But that's for, I'm going to stream Batman, and all of you are coming along, and you're going to be my voice.
Right. I'm just saying, like, if the single player game is as broken, I can't even imagine like throwing an online component into a Telltale game.
I think, well, just for the dialogue choices, I think it's not like they're doing the combat for you. That would still be you. They're really only picking the
usually
dialogue.
they're time like a lot of dialogue choices. There's a ticking clock.
Yeah. People got to be paying attention in the chat.
Okay.
right.
Twitch is popular. The kids.
Yeah.
I've heard about that. So, speaking of episodic games, Hitman Season 1
Right.
is out on disc. They released the final bonus mission that was for all the Season Pass holders, titled Landslide, which was set in...
Do you kill Fleetwood Mac?
No.
Oh, just Steven.
But you are a hitman, so you are killing people.
Okay.
With a landslide?
Yeah.
Oh.
It is a...
Hitman.
It is it's a mayor, basically, or a guy running for mayor who's got severe mafia ties, and you've been hired to take him out because he's just going to be bad for the city. And they've said it once again in Sapienza, which is the best map. They have basically a festival with a stage and stuff going on down by the beach area, but they have a whole area, the whole top half of the map is still kind of the same thing. It's just all set at sunset and just looks really nice. But man, there is one kill in there that caught me completely off guard, where I was led to it through the opportunity system, which is basically you can hear two people talking about something. And it's like, do you want to follow this opportunity? And then they'll say, oh, well, we need to alter the, he's scheduled to be here at this time, and so you want to be there at that time, and then it kind of prompts you. It basically it's kind of them easing you into what the activities they want you to do.
Right.
And one of them is you're disguised as this guy's lawyer, and so you want to meet him in his office. And he happens to have a fountain pen on a mount on the desk. And you have to wait until he's sitting there monologuing, and he's like, so are you with me? Or are you going to take my offer? And you grab him by the back of the head and jam his head down onto the pen, and you just go, no, I don't think so. And you yank his head off, take the pen out of his eye socket, and then put it back in the well, and then basically have to sneak your way out from there.
Sure.
But just the way that all played out is... And then, of course, the achievement for it was want to see a magic trick. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh my god, you guys, come on. It's so good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was just one where I was just like, because I was honestly not, I didn't see the pen on the desk. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that's what was going to happen when I came up behind him, because I thought I was just, going to do the standard, oh, I'm strangling you now thing. No, he just fucking slams that guy's head down. And yeah, there's also setting off fireworks to blast him off of a dock. But that one didn't go well for me, because I set the fireworks off, and apparently all the guards realized it was me that did it. Mm-hmm. So everyone descended on this dock and was coming after me. But
you shouldn't have been standing down there with one of those.
Well, you were pretending to be his photographer,
like a grill lighter.
With a grill lighter, yeah. If you hadn't yelled, "Hey, y'all, watch this," you'd have been okay.
Here, hold my beer.
Yeah, there are a lot of good. There are a lot of good deaths in that one. Like like this is one of the ones where they just leaned into the crazy death stuff, like the very custom. Oh, well, I'm going to push him off a rooftop, but it happens to be the top of a church, so there's a spire down there he's probably going to land on.
Yay.
That sort of shit.
Hi, I'm Ted Hitman, and welcome to Jackass.
Yeah. But man, I cannot wait for season 2 of that game. And they've been still doing the elusive targets and releasing. They released a professional mode, which once you've reached level 20 on any area, you can unlock a much harder mode where they detect you quicker.
Oh.
If you kill somebody in a bloody way, you can't use their disguise because it'll have blood all over it. It's just like, it's basically a mode for, and it's only unlocked once you've maxed out that level. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like for people who already, like me, who've played Paris 100 times and know all of the routines and everything, and just want to try for more challenge and do more fun stuff with it. But yeah, there was an elusive target last week where I ran out of time. I was out of town over the weekend, so I didn't get to play it then. And then we were doing podcasts and all, and it came down to like Thursday night, and it expired Friday morning.
Oh.
And so I only had like an hour to do it, and I was like, oh fuck. So and it was basically, you had to kill this lady who's in one end, who's in like a real ritzy, it's in the Bangkok hotel, and she's in one end of the hotel in the penthouse suite, but you have to steal some documents from a safe that's basically on the basement level of the other one. And once you do either, you're stuck in that mission, like you can't restart it. So I figured out how to get into the safe, and I didn't grab the documents. I did that part, and I'm like, all right, I know how to do this without getting caught. So I reset it, and then I had to figure out how to get to her, where she's like just in this place with all these guards and everything. So I figured out how to get to her, and I'm like, all right, I figured out my run. And so I blow the safe, I get the thing out of the safe, and I get up to her thing, and I'm waiting in this closet until she's alone in the room, and I have my deadly syringe of poison.
Sure.
And I run up and I jab it in her back, kill her, and then I'm like, oh god, yes. And like every time with these elusive targets, once you actually do the kill, like my heart rate literally goes up. I can just feel my heart in my chest because I'm so amped. Because when you fail, you're fucked. But like you're committed. You have to do this now.
Yep.
And I ran downstairs. I got out the front and realized I skipped erasing the tapes of me going around the play, like basically
like surveillance cameras.
Yeah, all the surveillance cameras caught me, and I forgot to hit the thing just downstairs from her room. Like I walked right by the door, but I was so pumped up that I actually pulled it off that I forgot to erase the tapes, so I didn't get my silent assassin rating. Which, yeah, luckily I still got credit for beating the mission. Which that's more infuriating is when you fuck it up and you die and you get nothing. Which just happened on a couple of them. And
so wait, these elusive targets, like you get one shot to kill them, and that's it?
Basically,
like you can't restart the mission?
You can restart the mission up until you've completed an objective or you've died.
Oh.
Like if you get killed, you failed. And that's how I failed one of them. Well, actually, that's how I failed two of them. otherwise, but basically, like, you could go all the way up to the point where, all right, I know how to get her alone.
Like, you could be standing there and get detected and just be like, oh, well, don't go that way.
Oh, I've done that plenty of times. Done that plenty of times. But you can restart it up until the point where there is a very firm point of no return. Where once you've killed them, you have to get out without getting killed. Once you've
I thought it was a very firm point of La Femme Nikita.
Mm-hmm.
Assassins. Mm-hmm. Assassin jokes.
Yep. Yeah, but they're a lot of fun because it's a matter of figuring them out and then actually pulling them off. And the actually pulling them off part is a lot more fun because there is so much randomness in that game. Because I've had one where I thought, like, I figured out the point where I get this person where nobody will see me. And then the one time that I actually went through and killed him, somebody somehow spotted me, like, through a window. I'm like, that I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to basically, I killed that person immediately. Like, just whipped out the gun, killed that person, and then hoped that no one saw that. But then somebody else saw that, so then I had to kill that person.
Okay.
And so it was kind of like this domino of death. But I'm like, no, I have to keep killing these people until I can get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. And then as I was exiting the level, it's like body found, body found, body found. I was like, okay, gotta go.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. But
sounds like a good season of content.
Oh, it's so good. I cannot. It's so good.
Huh.
Can't wait for it. But it was nice to have this as a bonus episode. I mean, yes, it was a level I'd already played plenty of times, but there was enough variation on it and enough new things. Getting a new target makes a big difference. And then hearing like the smarmy shit this guy, like, he's just such a, like, that's the thing about that game too, is like they make all of your targets pieces of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no moral ambiguity about anything. You're like, no, I'm going to blow this fucker up, or I'm going to electrocute this asshole. There's just
put a fountain pen through his
skull. They give you but like there's these two people that see him, this couple, and they're like, oh, can we get a picture with you? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And he takes the girl and like puts his arm around her, and then he's like telling the guy, he's like, why don't you go stand over there, a little bit further, and he basically like he makes the guy leave, so that he can get a picture with the wife, and then he's like, I like you. Why don't you give me a call a little bit later? Here's my card. And it's like
Ted Hitman says that?
No, this is the dude you're supposed to kill.
The dude you're supposed to kill.
The
Okay,
shady
right.
mafia mayor guy running for mayor.
Yeah, no.
So,
Ted Hitman has no time for photos.
Ted Hitman.
Ted Hitman is like
no
Doctor
words,
Who.
right?
He has no interest in sex
Right.
or anything but murder.
Just murder.
Does he ever speak?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Because he'll go to the desk and be like,
Oh, that's right.
Tobias Reaper checking.
Right, yeah, sorry.
Tobias.
I don't know why I thought he was silent for some reason.
The best name, Tobias Reaper.
Oh, you seem
Really?
like you're on the up and up. Come right in.
You're not suspicious at all.
It's a Mr. Tobias reaping.
I didn't know we
Mr.
needed
Reaper.
any.
I'm glad to see they took you off the no-fly list. No, it's a great game.
Man.
Do you guys want to take a break?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do it. Ears.
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 Ears. Oh, my leg is no, my leg. Why am I getting old? Oh.
So mad. Do I go in for another beverage or drink it? Easy there.
Well, I'm having a beverage.
Your darkly is showing.
Gross.
What did you do with that Dr. Pepper?
Brought it in case there would be rum.
Sorry, I didn't bring any rum. Next time, Gadget.
I just stopped over the weekend and bought a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, Yakuza 0 sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, it sounds my brand of goofy.
I would like to play that.
I know. So many, it's so weird. Like, we're in February and it's like, man, there's so many games right now.
Yeah.
I went from like
They finally fixed our problem we complain about all the time. And
I went
Now
from
look at
like
Yeah.
what is this to like I need Horizon Zero Dawn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jen saw the commercial with like a robot Tyrannosaurus.
Forza game out already. All by yourself.
That's right.
How's that calendar going?
Pretty good.
Uh-oh. Authentication required by Wi-Fi network.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I don't know. Did I get booted? Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Successfully connected. How's about that?
Good job.
We didn't lose the stream, did we?
Nope.
Good. Good. Good.
Ah. Wow.
Waluigi, number 1.
Wow, Luigi number 1. Wow, Luigi number 1. We are number 1. Hey.
So the post is scheduled for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that means we put something up.
Every day this week.
Did we put anything up Monday?
The Bamcast Extra.
Yeah. So we put something. We put Bamcast Extra.
Uh-huh.
What came on Tuesday? Oh, BBS.
Mm-hmm.
Funtime Torpedoes.
Your thing.
Futurama came today, and
Bamcast
Bamcast is tomorrow.
I'll put no quarters up Saturday morning.
You gonna put it on Saturday?
Yeah, why not? Unless I put it up Friday night.
Why not? Are we putting up anything Monday morning?
Bamcast Extra.
Yeah, okay.
And then Doctor Who will be on Tuesday. Jesus Christ!
Yeah. There's a lot of podcasts.
We're cranking out fucking content. Jesus.
And
I've
then
already done 2 episodes of the next Funtime Torpedoes. I mean,
Yeah.
watch the episodes, not recorded.
Yeah.
Full episodes. Podcast. And I took your suggestion. I did a little intro-y thing to talk more.
Yeah.
overview.
so quick question, spoilers for the live stream.
Whoa, what's the matter?
He was ready to answer some questions.
Questions.
I got answers!
I know shit. I'm a cat.
Oh, he's just a stupid fucking cat. She doesn't know shit.
no shit.
He's got no frame of reference.
She has discovered that standing over here gets her pets, and since I'm back and she's back, she's like,
Guess who's
"Hey,
back?
do the thing."
Kitty's back.
Should I start the thing in March, or should I start the thing on Monday?
What thing?
The thing.
Streamy thing?
Yeah.
The boat thing? Or just picking one and going?
I could just pick one and go for the first.
I'd probably go ahead and put the vote up now. Like, figure out what you want to do and put the vote up, and then maybe like give it a week to simmer.
Okay.
Because not everybody's like Johnny on the spot for voting.
Well, I tell you
Hey,
what
Steve.
I'll do. I will
Hey.
start the thing I'll do a soft launch on this Monday.
Ooh.
And then we'll do the thing, the Voti thing, and then we'll do the full launch next Monday.
Now, I mean, I don't know. This is probably getting spoilery, but like, are you planning to play something like through, or just play a random thing like for some time?
I will do my best to play through a thing in the month.
Okay.
So, that is a good question for when we're actually talking about it on the podcast.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys want to do a second half?
I do.
Yeah, I do.
Do we want to lead off with that, or?
Yeah, I say go for it.
Yeah, Macho Man, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
It's the calmest saying of that ever. I don't know. Macho Man, the sky's the
Macho
limit.
Madness.
Sky's the limit. Cream of the crop.
Watch it on your video
That's still the best thing is Skyrim. Just hearing in the distance, just that.
Macho Man's coming.
And the character's like, what was that?
It's so good.
Yeah, the fact that they built
Did
in
you
the
hear
Doppler effect is so good.
That mod is. I don't think there will ever be a mod better.
No. That's
I
perfect
really
timing for that thing.
I really don't think there will be any mod that will
I don't know,
surpass
the
that.
John Cena nuclear teddy bears for Fallout. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I
Like
haven't
they
seen
explode
those.
and make the John Cena music. 'Cause that's what
I think
dream
they
of.
launch and do. Yeah, I think they do that and then explode.
Yeah, see, that's all I want in life. Is
Pretty good.
Thanks,
I want-
Thanks, Aeronauts. I want explosions
Right.
every time I hear. Can't see me. My time is now.
Amadou.
That's the actual word that's said.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right,
All right.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, no quarters. Second half.
Hey, still a motherfucking video game podcast starring me.
You're so goddamn right, PJ.
It is starring you.
Yeah, right now it's starring me.
Guest starring.
Guest
PJ.
star, yes. I got my own special little Love Boat circle thing. So, speaking of starring me, to kick off this second half, I have an announcement to make.
Shit.
This is a good one.
Oh.
It's not a bad announcement. Well, depending on your point of view. What I have decided to do is I am going to start streaming some gameplay, some video game playing.
On the internet?
On the internet.
What?
Live on the
Right.
internet.
Weird.
On a schedule, even.
People do this?
Yeah.
so weird.
It's a huge industry.
Wow.
Massive. The kids love it.
Well, I'm glad we're getting in on the ground floor.
Right. Right. Before someone,
Does
makes
it right.
millions of dollars on it
Uh-huh.
and then falls from grace. But no, I'm not going to do like complicated Let's Play type stuff. I'm not going to do any editing stuff because I'm really not good at it. But what I'm going to do is Monday nights at 9 p.m. I'm going to stream for as long as I can stand, which will it'll be at least an hour, if not probably more regularly too. Because surprisingly, time goes by pretty fast when you're playing video games and talking into the void. But I'm going to do that on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/something.
No quarters net.
Is it No Quarters Net?
Yes.
Don't go to something.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/No Quarters Net. And I am going to throw a little bone to our patrons because we share. Obviously, it's the same four of us. We share in the joy that is the Patreon contributorship. So if you are a patron, I'm going to give you every month a vote I'm going to give you 4, 5, 6 video games to vote for, and whichever one our patrons vote for, that is the game that I will acquire and play for you, the viewer.
Sweet. That's mighty nice of you, BJ.
Yeah, I thought it was neat.
Yeah.
And if all it takes to get in on the Patreon is $1, so give us $1, and you can help tell me what video game to play.
All patrons, just all levels.
I'm giving it out to everybody.
For $12 a year, you can command $12 a year to do your bidding.
Tell me what to do.
That is nice of you.
Yeah,
shit, I might have to get in on that.
Yeah,
I can afford that.
You're just going to tell me to play literally any video
I will take
game.
the money out of the Patreon and put it back into it.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not...
Yeah, we'll make so much money.
I vote for Ms. Pac-Man. A month of Ms. Pac-Man.
I am going to choose a number of video games so that I don't end up playing like
Ms. Pac-Man,
anime Pigeon Boyfriend Simulator 2016 because I'd really rather play 2017.
Yeah, that's true. It's a much improved engine.
So no, I'll make sure there's some goofy shit in there. There'll be some fun stuff.
All right.
And since I am in possession of an Xbox One as well as a PlayStation 4, there will be the opportunity for some variety there. But it'll be twitch.tv /NoQuartersNet Monday nights 9:00
Eastern time.
Yeah. And I'll be there for an hour or two, or maybe more, depending on how I feel. So pop by and
show BJ some love.
Yeah.
Keep him streaming.
Literally show me.
If
some
you're
love.
like international, that's -5 GMT.
Correct.
Just
Yeah.
All right.
So, and those will all be, as you can set Twitch to archive them, they'll be archived at youtube.com/NoQuartersNet.
Hey, where people are watching the live stream right now.
That's correct.
Man, so many fingers, so many pies.
Yep.
And they all taste great. Am I right?
The pies or the fingers?
Yes.
Both.
Nice.
All right. Getting back to video games.
Getting way back to video games.
Wait. That was video games talk.
Yeah, it was. I know. That was the point. Anyway. Recently, EA made Dragon Age Origins available on Xbox One as a backwards compatible title.
Finally.
And I said, hey, you know what? I like them BioWare games, and I never finished that one, and I have all the DLC, so sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
Take me back to the land of Dragon Age Origins. What's the name of that land, Chuck? Do you remember? Does it even have a name?
It does.
Middle Earth?
Ferelden?
That's right. It is Ferelden.
Okay.
No, wait. That's one of the city. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. The world of Dragon Age Origins.
I remember Orzammar. That's where the dwarves are from.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been there yet.
Okay.
I'm currently in the mages quest line. Yeah. Yeah, that game looks its age.
A Dragon Age?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It looks like it was made in the age
kinda
of
scaly.
dragons. And
Early 360 game, huh?
yeah. Yeah, the characters are pretty rough. It's just funny. Like, I would play Battlefront, and then I'd go to that, and I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What have I done?
This man is only 4 polygons.
Yeah. But that game's all about character interactions anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the battle system is garbage. It's worthless to me. Like, it means nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Battle is just the thing you do to get to the next bit of dialogue.
Yeah.
And just they really have a great party constructed. Like the character types they use in that game are really, really solid. Like, and especially Morgan is just a fantastic character because she's the one who makes it so it's not like, I'm going to do the good thing all the time.
No.
And when you do the good thing, she's like, the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this? There's dragons or something because it's the age of dragons.
Stop helping people.
Yeah. She's like, why are you just wasting your time? And, and then somebody will come up with it. They'll be like, please, sir, I need 5 wild berries for my son to heal his rickets, and...
And Templar dude's like, oh, we have to do this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, of course.
This is why we were put into service.
And Morgan's the one who'll be like, really? Like, we need to save the Earth, and you're going to go find flowers for this asshole who can't find them himself. So, yeah. And also, man, there are just so many dialogue options for her where it's just like, don't even choose, don't even go down that path at all. Because whatever you do on that path will be Morgan disapproves -10 every time.
Yeah, you're never going to make her happy. Don't even try.
Oh, I know. The only way I've made her happy is giving her gifts because I got all the DLC, so I can give her all the bullshit gifts. But
have you done the shitty April Fool's Day gifts yet?
I have not done those yet.
Boy, that's a good time. If you want to see all your companions really sad when you give them hot bullshit, they're all so thrilled to like get a present from you, and they open it up and it's fucking nothing.
Oh, that's great. April Fool.
Yeah, and they're like, I thought we were friends.
So it's like real life.
It's you being a dick because the game told you to, and the characters are like, man, I thought you were a nice person. Yeah, it's the worst.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
But man, like my favorite part was you have a war dog as your pet.
Yep.
Basically, but he can actually fight in battles because he's a giant ass, strong ass dog.
The party member.
Yeah, he's a choosable party member. He does not have conversations, but
No.
there is a point in camp where all of the other characters will, if you go and you interact with the dog, you will interrupt conversations the other ones are having. And the best one was Sten, who's like this weird Kunari is their name, where they're like very few words, but they're just like a warrior type society.
Yeah, they're like Klingon Vikings.
Kind of. But yeah, man, he's just staring the dog in the face and they're both growling at each other. And he just ends it. He goes, I respect you. And then walks away. And like that is the conversation between him and the dog. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, the amount of writing that goes into those games is insane.
Yeah, I wish I could get past the clunky battle stuff because it just annoyed me to the point.
I just set it on easy.
Yeah.
So I barely have to think about it.
You kind of just push up.
Yeah,
Aim towards dudes.
I think my problem with it right now is I'm too much in the Mass Effect mode of like, all right, if I choose this, what's going to happen down the line? And there's so many where you can tell it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a bummer where it's like you're presented with this thing that's like, oh, are you gonna let this guy live out his life in misery, or are you gonna kill him now? You know, and it's like it doesn't really matter, and that stuff is kind of a bummer. Because and maybe that's the fact knowing that like Dragon Age 2 tied in somewhat, but not like Mass Effect did.
Yeah.
You know, and Dragon Age Origins or not Origins, Inquisition is I'm assuming just a completely different deal.
It's weird. I mean, like the Dragon Age games to me always seem like half steps between the Mass Effect games of them just trying shit out.
Like, so that's like their experimental one.
Yeah, it's like they're trying the cohesive story, dialogue stuff in all the Dragon Age games and kind of making it work, and then they take what they learn from that and make a Mass Effect game out of it.
Yeah, because I mean, like Mass Effect's combat isn't great.
No,
but it's years better than Dragon Age.
I mean, that's my main problem with I always seem like I talk shit about Mass Effect 1, but that's because I think like Mass Effect 1, you can see the dice rolls happening. Like, you could be pointing at a dude's head, and it's like, nah, you rolled a 2. It's like, but 2 is like, oh, I am good at shooty game, ergo I'm good at Mass Effect now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you may have hit him in the head, but you did less damage
Right.
than, all that stuff. But, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's just, it's the case of like, man, this is a time investment. Because I hit the same point I did the last time where it's like, oh, I can go to any of these places and I don't know what to do. And,
So I love that. I love just having big areas of lots of things to go.
Well, and I guess it's like knowing that I'm going to go to the Mage's Circle to figure out what the hell's going on there, and I'm going to be doing these missions for 12 hours. That part is a bit, yeah. But it's still like the dialogue and the writing of those games really holds up. It's the exploration and the combat that's kind of a means to an end, really. But I still like it. Still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I beat it before Mass Effect Andromeda comes out, but I doubt it.
Doesn't sound like you're going to get there.
Yeah, I only got a month. Yeah, it's not
That's a lot of game.
Yeah, I got Neo to play.
Yeah. Exactly. Speaking of a lot of game,
Yeah?
basically right after the Foties, I loaded up Mafia 3 and played that game to completion while doing nothing else.
That's a lot of mafia-ing.
It is. That game is a solid B-tier open world game. It's not one of the elite things. I played through Mafia 2 back when that came out, and that had an open world that was just fucking dead. Like, there was nothing in it. This is a little better than that, but it's still, there's barely anything to do in the world, and once you realize that, you can mainline that game pretty hard. It's got a great story to it. The things that happen that get you motivated are fantastic.
Yeah.
It just has that open world problem of then you kind of fuck around and it's like I could go over here and race cars for a while. It's like, no, wait, you're on a mission to murder the people who tried to murder you. Why are you fucking around looking for Playboy magazines and record albums and stuff? Which is the kind of bullshit thing about this game is that they've thrown a bunch of collectibles in the game. They literally have no purpose whatsoever. They don't help you in any way if you collect them, and there's no trophy associated with them. They're literally there to just
filler.
Yeah. They just pop up on a menu screen. And I would have maybe collected them if there had been some sort of award attached to it, because I can get motivated by that dumb thing. But without that, I was like, there's literally nothing to do.
Yeah, at least unlock weapons or something.
Something like that. Just give me a higher tier of upgrade something, stamina or, people that you can call to come help you do. None of that. Zero. But all the story missions in the game are great. You have to do a lot of bullshit to get to each story mission. Like you have to go hunt down underlings and wipe them out before you can get to like an actual thing that you do. Yeah. And those get repetitive, and they get repetitive real quick because it's all the same thing of just like, go fuck up some stills, and then that's going to make a guy mad, and then you go to his place and murder his 800 goons.
And corner him and, either kill him or recruit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time.
Every time. So it's got a lot of neat ideas in it. Every story-based mission I did was great. There's one at the end where you're in this casino that's being built, and the game doesn't even point it out to you. I just figured it out on my own. That there's this long-ass hallway, and you get to the end of the hallway where it's like this big circular room where there's going to be a bunch of dudes shooting at you if you just go like 1 pixel forward. But there's a wooden ramp there. And I'm like, why is this here? That doesn't make sense for that to be there. And I went back to the other end of the hallway, and they had started the process of unloading a car that was going to be on display in this casino that they're building. And I'm like, oh. So I got in that car and drove it down the ramp and just floored it down the hallway of this casino and just launched through the center of this thing and was just like, come at me. I'm fucking here. It's time. Your character in that is so good. You are murdering fools in the best way, and it's all completely justified and awesome. You're just awesome Vietnam vet, and you've got a CIA buddy, and there's some weird-ass Black Ops stuff during the game, especially during the closing credits, where the Black Ops-ness of it gets really weird, but it's good. It's a good, solid B-tier game.
It's a shame that it's a B-tier game.
Well, I think there's still a place for that, and this is firmly in that place. It's just, it's got a big midsection of nothing. It's like the opening missions go on forever. It's like the tutorial of this game is 8 hours. It feels like it just goes on forever, and then it's just like, hey, the world's open, go do stuff, and it's like, oh no.
Well, as much as we love them, I mean, Saints Row games are B-tier open world games.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they've just got goofy humor to.
Yeah. I mean, well, Just Cause 3, it's like I don't know. Like, Just Cause 3 is weird. Like, they almost put like an A-tier budget in it, but it's still a B-tier kind of game.
Yeah. But, like, Saints Row has the goofy humor, and Just Cause has the ridiculous explosions and all that stuff. Mafia 3 has a soundtrack. Now, don't get me wrong. The soundtrack is amazing. And even, like, the radio shows they've created are amazing and somehow tie into the main story of the game, which gets really weird how they map that out, because you're just listening to these talk shows that go on, and then somehow the talk shows get involved in the story. It's hard to explain, but the way they tie it together is kind of amazing.
So did you experience any jank playing it? Because I know that Harlow quit because it was so glitchy.
I never got to the point that the thing that happened to you that I know you were like, I can't get out of this loop or whatever it was. That never happened to me, but there was the typical amount of open world. Well, it's not even typical because most games fix that. This game had a lot of, I'll be driving along and there's a ghost car above me.
Oh.
It's like, what? And for a second you're like, haha, but then you're like, come on, guys, we're 6 months in. You guys should have fixed that by now.
Or the car that doesn't exist suddenly crashing into you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll park and suddenly your car will just start sinking into the pavement. It's like, where am I going? I'm not ready to go down.
Like, it didn't like that car anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, none of the jank broke it for me, but it's there. And after a quick haha, you're like, oh, come on. Also, that game has a season pass. They haven't even announced anything for content yet.
Is it $50?
It's something stupid expensive. I think it might be 30, but there's supposed to be 3. There's no multiplayer in this game. There's supposed to be 3 story packs that come out.
And that came out, what, October?
Yeah. And there's been nothing. They haven't even said anything. So that worries me.
It should.
Because I was like, all right, let's do the DLC. And I'm like, wait, there's not even... Where is it? Why?
We haven't even talked about it.
Yeah, so I hope that's a thing that... Maybe they're trying to plan it out yearly, and maybe this fall there's going to be this huge Mafia 3 expansion, but yeah, so far nothing. But it's a lot of fun.
Wasn't it a really long time ago that Mafia 2 came out? 10 years ago or something?
Mafia 2... I played it on 360.
360 game.
Yeah.
I want to say 2008, 2009, probably.
I mean, the original one was a PC game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't really like this.
No, Mafia 1 was basically original gangster, Al Capone time.
Right.
Kind of thing. And at the time, it was hot shit graphics kind of deal that nobody could run. The whole, let's put out Crysis, and it'll be popular 3 years later when people can afford a PC they can play it.
Yeah, 2 kind of shifted to straight Grand Theft Auto clone. The problem was it was L.A. Noirish, where they built this massive city and there was nothing to do in it. The only good thing I remember about 2 is that in the narrative, there's a point where your character goes to jail, and normally a game would just skip ahead, 5 years later, and then you get out of jail. No, the midsection of that game is you in jail, staying alive in jail. I thought that was awesome. Games don't do that. So
Fight Night
that's
Champion.
the only... Yeah.
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 I still just have to bring that up every once in a while and tell people to play it.
Yeah, everyone should play Fight Night Champion.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of fights,
yes. Like I said, I didn't want to go to a open world game right after Mafia 3 because Watch Dogs 2 was the next one I wanted to play, but I was like, you know what, I can't, because you just get tired. It's like if I had to play open world games back to back,
it's exhausting.
It would just be the worst.
I used to do that, and I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. I have to play a shorter experience.
I think everyone
Side
has
quest
made
fatigue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone has made open world games it's just this arms race of how much shit can we pack into it, and it just you reach a breaking point where it's I just can't do these anymore.
Yeah. So I decided to go with Battlefield 1. I figured that would be a 8 to 10 hour campaign, and I could just play that, and it's definitely a change of pace. World War I game, and you play the opening mission, which is tragic and meaningful, and you're just it's doing the old school Battlefield thing where a character dies and you warp into another player and just keep going. But
are you talking about the opening cinematic?
Yeah. You're not really doing much.
The playable cinematic.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's
really really strong.
I thought that was great, and I was like, oh, if that's this game, I'm in. Let's do this. And then the game starts, and it's we're going to tell you stories about these characters throughout World War I, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then I know you guys were high on the tank stuff.
Are you mad that they made you care about a tank?
I didn't care about the tank.
You are a heartless piece of shit.
I didn't care about anything I was doing. The opening missions are all tank based, where you're either driving the tank or you're supporting the tank outside of the tank. And immediately I was just like, I don't want to be doing any of this. None of this is fun. I'm not enjoying this. But
I don't even understand how that's possible.
It wasn't fun. It was clunky and not enjoyable. I think
maybe something broke in you, because you had the very meh reaction about Arrival too. I'm saying
I'm more emotional than most people, and this just didn't do it for me. The activities they were having you do were not interesting to me, and I didn't think were laid out very well. I liked the story of it. I thought the story of these characters and the tank was all very interesting. I just didn't like the gameplay aspect of it. But I played through the whole tank mission. I finished all the tanks. I guess some of those dudes made it. And then the next thing starts up, and it's shitty planes, and I'm like, I don't want to be doing this either. And I just stopped. I was doing the plane tutorial, and I was just like, no, none of this is what I want to do. I want to murder fools in the face.
Yeah.
I don't want to support a tank.
That was just coming off of Mafia 3?
Yeah.
That's your problem.
I still had Bloodlust from Mafia 3.
I think you need to give it a couple months and play something, like
That's fine.
Hatoful Boyfriend or something, and then come back and
keep going back to the pigeon dating sim, huh?
it's funny. And I remembered what its name was, so I wanted to slide that in there.
Sure. I just didn't want to do any of it. So, but I didn't play any multiplayer. I didn't do any of that. I played the entire.
You probably hate multiplayer.
No,
you get wrecked immediately.
Multiplayer looks fine. It looks like all those games. I watched you play it live on a live stream.
You get wrecked immediately.
Yeah, but you look like you were having fun getting wrecked. So
I'm getting better. So
that's the thing about Battlefield games to me is like even if I lose, I'm generally still kind of having fun.
Yeah.
With the chaos.
There's dumb fun to be had.
I don't like spawn and like guy across the map snipes me, but if I die,
don't play any of the sand.
Yeah, I'm just saying like if I'm running and somebody's jumped out of a biplane and it crashes into me, I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty funny.
It's a good time.
Yeah, when real Battlefield ass shit happens in Battlefield, it is incredible. I would like to tell a couple fun things about Battlefield when you're done.
That was it.
Cool.
I didn't play any multiplayer, so I can't speak on it. But apparently you can.
Yeah. So I've had this idea in my head that I really want to get like good at the horse riding and murdering from horse.
Sure.
Because you can ride a fucking horse and murder dudes from horses.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to be good at that?
Who knows?
So I spent a fair amount of time the last few play sessions. Like I was actively hunting the horse spawn so that I could jump on a horse and go murder fools. And it is so fucking satisfying when you do.
Are you becoming a professional equestrian sports player?
A professional murderer from
Do you have a saber?
Mount? Yes.
And you can behead dudes as you come by on a horse?
You don't lop their heads off, but you don't actually lop their heads off, but you figuratively lop their heads off.
You run them through?
You do.
Yes.
You slash at them, so I assume you're lopping their heads off.
And then they're dead.
But you get, like, when you get on a horse, you sort of get a different class. Like, you have your regular 4 classes, which are assault, support, medic, and scout. But when you get on a horse...
You become horse.
You become a horseman. Yeah, you become cavalry. Not quite becoming a horse. That's a way different
really
game.
Hard to understand.
I was a medic. Hey, over there.
No, but you like if you spawn in on a horse, you get a cavalry class character. And so you get a couple, like you get a different gun, you get a saber instead of whatever your other melee weapon was, and you get like, normally if you wanted to throw out med packs, you'd have to be medic. If you wanted to throw out ammo packs, you'd have to be support. But cavalry gets a med pack and an ammo pack. So you're like the sort of all around, but you also are on a fucking horse and you get to storm across the sands and slash people to death. And I had one run where like there's one of the maps, I think it's called Foul Fortress, and there's a checkpoint sort of off to the side that's by some cliffs and stuff, and like that checkpoint had gotten taken over, and I'm like, I got murdered doing something else stupid, and I'm like, cool, I want to horse the fuck out of this game right now. And grab the horse, and I'm like, I'm going to take that point. I want to get that point back. So I rode halfway across the map on this horse, just, riding hell to beat the devil, and arrive on this point, and there's like 3 enemy dudes. I huck 2 grenades out from my horse, ride around the point.
I'm just imagining it.
I hucked them. I didn't fart them out. Oh, okay. So I throw 2 grenades. I catch one guy, injure another guy, ride. There's a slope and a cliff. It's sort of on a little plateau, and you can ride down below it. Down sort of around and below it. So I made a loop around, come back, slash a dude with the sword, ride around again, come back up, and crash through the 3rd dude with my horse, and then stop. And there are no more enemies on the point, and it starts ticking down, and tick, 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 tick. I'm standing there and like watching the rest of the battle unfold across the map while I'm standing majestic on this horse on a bluff. I'm like, yes, I am the horseman.
And then you got sniped.
I didn't. Amazingly, I didn't. It's the one time when that kind of shit didn't happen to me.
Somebody let you have your moment.
Somebody must have. They must have been like, respect. Because I was standing
like, that fucker took the horse all the way over there?
Yeah. Halfway across the map, yeah. And then I was just like standing, once I was done, I was just standing on the edge of the bluff, or the cliff, whatever, and looking out, facing the battlefield, just totally out in the open while the flag captured. And I was like, this is fucking Battlefield. This is great. And then I jumped my horse off the cliff and ran away. Well, because you can just jump a horse off a cliff.
Okay.
They're pretty hardy.
Clearly.
Yeah. Huh. And it just feels really cool to hit the horse full gallop and run through an alleyway and throw a couple grenades and slash a dude in the face and run off, and then you get stuck on a palm tree and somebody shoots you 100 times in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Battlefield.
It's Battlefield. Even when it's bad, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd taken kind of a hiatus from Battlefield and had played a bunch of Battlefront in the meantime, and started like one of the YouTube channels that I watch. They started posting more videos, posting more regularly, and they play a lot of Battlefield. They do they run around as a pair and kind of troll people a little bit. It's funny. They're both from the UK, and so they've got good accents and they're funny dudes. So I've been watching them a lot, and I'm like, man, I got to get back into shooting dudes with bolt action rifles.
Back on the horse, huh?
Back on the horse, yeah. So that's my thing. I'm
You're
really
making me
enjoying
interested in it.
It's fun.
I want to ride around on a horse and slash people in the face.
Yeah.
If you really want to, I have it on disc, so I can lend it to you so that you can try it before, as you will.
I like the sound of that.
See, I'm not into multiplayer mods because you can cheat and all that, but
yes,
I would mod it so that when I ride up on them, you get the look at my horse is amazing. Just so that everyone's like, oh my god, why is that happening? And slash.
That would be pretty good. Nice. You might be able to set a macro on the PC.
Yeah.
Just broadcast that over group chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I wanted to go to the other team. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I wanted it to be like the Ride of the Valkyries,
chat.
but horse style.
Yeah, do they have location chat on the proximity chat? Those are great when you got that.
I don't think so. I think it's I think it's global. Did the stream die? Oh no.
I think we had a temporary drop. Well, I don't know. It's still dropping. Still dropping. Un momento.
Okay. Stand by. Chatters.
Hey, cut the chatter.
It's back now.
All right.
Well, bye. Back now.
Yay. Battlefield's seriously pretty good. Chuck, I think you had too much murder in your heart already.
It's a big heart.
Chuck always has murder in his huge heart.
A lot of room in there.
You got to squeeze a little bit of it out.
A
little bloodletting.
I need all murder all the time.
Okay.
I didn't even say the coolest part about Mafia 3 was just murdering racists.
You should have said that.
I should have.
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
They give you so many
you
racists
did.
to murder.
Yeah.
The one part where I was breaking into someone's house to murder somebody, and this non-player character just walking down the sidewalk is just like, "Hey man, get in there and bust him up." I just thought that was great. It's like, thanks, computer person.
Yeah. Guy was pumped about it.
I'm gonna get in there and murder that racist.
Yeah. So we ready?
Mm-hmm.
So Chuck,
Yes, sir.
you played a game that I played long ago. long ago.
From yesterfar.
I think we all played this long ago.
Yeah.
The bad guy in Aladdin.
I think this is one of those weird games that like we shouldn't talk about, but it kept coming up for some reason. And
I have a new opinion about this.
Yeah,
game.
it's Stuntman Ignition.
Why it went backwards compatible, I don't know. I guess they
like
just
a THQ owned game. We don't even know who has the who owns it now.
They probably were like, "Oh, we should just put this through the automated thing and see if it works." Click. Oh, okay, it works.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stuntman Ignition. Basically a racing puzzle game.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. My save was gone, so I couldn't tell you how far I got, but I know I had beaten it. I don't know if I'd 5-starred everything, but I had done a lot of shit.
I'm going to say you probably didn't 5-star everything, because that shit's insane.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
It's pretty...
Oh, I thought you were about to drop like, but I did it now.
I tried.
Okay.
And yeah, that is a game of memorization.
Yeah. I'm still opposed to the overall concept of that game, which is the fact that you are filming 90 stunts in a row for insane directors who have just built like 8 square miles that you're supposed to stunt through, and there are just cameras at every corner capturing this one long stunt, which is stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
What should happen is that you can do it all at once, but you should be able to bank like the stunts that you pull off perfectly because that take should be perfect.
Yeah.
You're thinking of this from a logical point of view.
I know.
From a filmmaking point of view.
It's what's frustrating about
Not
the
a
game.
half-ass video game point
Well,
of
yeah,
view.
because the game is asking you to be almost perfect for like 3-4 minutes straight.
And there's always at least one stunt in the entire sequence that is just fucked for some reason. Like you can't wrap your brain around what it's asking you to do. And sometimes you just kind of pull it off accidentally, but it's like I can never do like this one thing awesomely. Like I can skid off a car and do a 180 and all the things, jumps and all that, but there's always just one weird thing where it's just like, and they're always barking at you over the headsets, and it's like, fuck, this is not how you make a movie.
I just love that when you crash into the lava in the volcano one, they're like, the director, like, he goes, get him out of that lava.
Right.
I was like, what? And then there's another one where he's like, yeah, it's not really lava, but get him out of it anyway.
Right. See, my save was at the Tarantino one, so you've got faux Tarantino doing all this shouting and jittery stuff over the headset, and it's like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
You're making me nervous. Yeah.
That game runs pretty well on Xbox One, though.
It does.
It looks like shit, but it runs well.
Well,
I mean, like, you look in the backgrounds, and it's like...
Yeah, like the main...
The lowest polygon trees you've ever seen in a game.
Yeah, like the main game components don't look great, but I'm surprised at the presentation of that game. Like, early 360 games look like shit. They just, like... The fonts are terrible, and no one had any graphic design abilities whatsoever. This is a well-designed video game.
Yeah.
It's just the execution of it is still fuck all.
Yeah. Thank God. Like, loading times, though.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. I think we all played that before you could install on the hard drive.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember that game like restarting a mission was like, oh, God, help me.
Yeah. My last achievement was 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. So, but... I mean, I know we all kind of had an episode of the show where we wrote that game off. We were just like, I tried to play it. No, fuck that game forever. Fling it into the sun.
I'm the only one who stuck with it.
Did I actually even try this? Because it rings like 0 bells.
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
We may have talked you out of it.
Yeah. Okay. But having gone back to it and like forcing myself to sit down and actually do it, I kind of found a newfound respect for it, especially because there has been nothing like it since.
Yep.
A driving puzzle game set in the stunt world is awesome. And why isn't there another one of these?
I would watch any of the movies that you're making in that.
Yes.
100%.
They're all great. Whatever the dumb hillbilly one.
Whoopin' and Hollerin' 2.
2, yes.
I would buy Whoopin' and Hollerin' 1 and 2 on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I think the final stunt of whatever movie I was doing, you just kill a guy with a billboard.
Yeah. Well, there's somewhere it's just like, all right, now you're going to hit this ramp and then you're just going to crash into the side of the building.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so I'm going to die.
Yes.
Like, I literally die at the
My
end of
death
the stunt.
is the finale of this movie, huh? Great.
So we're making a snuff film. I see how this is.
Super duper. Yeah, it's something. I mean, there's something to it.
Yeah.
So
I'll admit, like, I got frustrated and left, but I was like, man, I should put that back in.
yeah, I mean, I played it for an evening and was like, I don't hate this like I used to. Mm-hmm. I haven't gone back to it.
I genuinely think it's not having a load time when you have to restart.
Maybe
because I
that
remember
was
back then
shit.
that was infuriating.
Yeah.
Because when you'd fuck up in the first 20 seconds and then it would take you longer to load than your run was. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the loads are pretty good.
Yep.
So
it's worth finding for $2.99 and playing again, huh?
I think so. I really do. Well, I could tell a funny story about that. GameStop. Those are a bunch of fuckers when it comes to backwards compatible games.
Yeah.
They jack the prices way up.
Yes.
As soon as they go on back compatible.
Yeah. At midnight. So I had
if you get their day of.
Well, okay, so this one I was going to buy online because I didn't have the disc anymore, and it was $4.99. I had it in my cart, and then got up the next day because I was like, I should probably add another game because shipping something to me for $4.99 seems dumb. They doubled it; it was $9.99.
Of course.
So I told them to fuck off, and they didn't do it. They also made Grand Theft Auto 4 backwards compatible,
just like last week, right?
Recently,
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I went into the store and pulled a copy off the shelf, the complete edition with all the DLC and everything, and it was $13.99. Went up to the counter, rang up $34.99. Was about to tell that guy to fuck off, and he was like,
Grand Theft Auto 4,
yes,
that there's like a billion copies of everywhere.
And as you pointed out, is $19.99 digitally.
Yeah. It's cheaper to buy it digitally.
So did he fix it for you?
He corrected it for me because that's the price it was on the sticker, which I was about to go at, but he was like, no, I got this. And I was like, this is the coolest GameStop dude ever.
He probably saw your eyes go,
yeah. I was like, no, dude, I'm going to murder you now.
While we're talking about dumb GameStop stories, so in the flurry of sales pre-Christmas, I kind of completely forgot that I thought I bought Ratchet and Clank, the PS4 reboot deal, because it was like $7, and I was like, all right, I like Ratchet and Clank, it's time, to just finally own this. Well, apparently I went through GameStop, clicked buy, did all these things, and never actually bought it. So I got this email that says, yeah, cool, come to the store to pick this up. And then I realized I had nothing that said, here's your order number, here's your confirmation. It really just said, go to the store. And I think it meant go to the store and give them the money. I didn't actually pay for it. Therefore, locking in the price. Because I got up there and he's like, oh, it's $19.99. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I was going to buy it because like $6-7. And he was like, well, can you like pull up your bank account? And I've scrolled back to the date or ordered, and I was like, I honestly don't see anything where I gave you money despite going through the checkout process. It was really just like pick up in store and pay in store, and what's the point?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It was like a month later. I was just like, oh yeah, that shit.
They'll be gone in a few years anyway.
I wouldn't even give them a few years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Apparently, with their the exposure of their life cycle bullshit, and some of the other shady horse shit that goes on at GameStop.
The guy who corrected the price on Grand Theft Auto 4 didn't try to sell me anything. That guy was fucking cool. He just took my games and put the used copies in and gave them to me for the price they were supposed to be, and I walked out the door.
I am placing no blame upon the employees of GameStop Incorporated.
No, but I mean, I've been in GameStops where they are fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah.
They just buy in fully with their car salesman mentality.
Well, they've probably been threatened to death. This guy may have been just like, whatever, this place will be gone in 6 months. He
did act like that.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll be... GameStop won't last much longer.
Nope, probably not.
I hope. Fuck GameStop.
Yeah, I have zero segue for that one. So I picked up The Witness.
Oh.
It got talked about in the Fodies, and I was like, I was in a point in my life when it came out, I was like, I don't want fucking puzzles. My life was a series of puzzles. Coming home and doing puzzles did not seem like a thing that I wanted to do. I mean, whatever. So... it got cheap. Ironically, it got cheap on Steam. I bought it, and then the Humble Freedom bundle with like 6,000 games and books and everything came out and had it too. So I somehow ended up with 2 copies of it.
Oh,
so I went from none to 2 very quickly. I got to say, I put an hour in, a solid hour. I got through, I don't know, a bunch of puzzles. I got to the point that, like, you know, it started doing, like, the mirror image, and then it started doing the, like, well, yeah, the mirror image where it's, like, you're going the opposite way of... And then I just kind of, like, lost my path, like, because I was just, like, following the flow and, like, hooking things up. And then all of a sudden, I just couldn't figure out where the pipe went, where the next thing was. And it's like this moment of clarity went, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that moment has that game has, like, this revelatory moment where it's like, oh, I get it now. And I'm sure it does. I mean, obviously it does, because people, you know, kind of universally praise this game. But, like, I just hit that moment where I was like, I just got lost for a second, and I was like, the fuck? Why? Why am I doing this? Like,
I agree with you. The exact same thing happened to me, where I was on board with that game, going down the path, doing it, and then just was like, wait, what? And then realized I was kind of like, I don't think I'm supposed to be over here yet. I mean, I know I can be, but I don't think I'm ready for these puzzles yet. But I couldn't find the place that was like, what's the next logical difficulty step where I'm supposed to be doing puzzles?
Exactly.
And then I was just like fucking around with the world, and I was like, oh, there's a thing up there, and I don't know what that means. And then I was just like, yeah, I get this game. I mean, it's like, I understand the appeal of it. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And like,
it's that moment of discovery.
Yeah.
You know,
I just got lost.
It's when they discovered they're fucking idiots, Mackie.
probably.
Yeah, we're smart.
They're only idiots. They're not fucking idiots.
That's true. That would be a compliment.
I kid.
No. But no, it's not to... I almost don't want to make the comparison, but it's like the moment in Dark Souls when you figure out and overcome the boss and you're like, fuck yes. That's what The Witness was for me, where it was like, but my brain instead, where it wasn't using the skills to pull it off. It was my brain. It finally clicked to my brain, and my brain said, yeah, you're smarter than this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly would, and I'm not trying to say to, you know, double back and say I'm super smart. I was having no problem with the puzzles, like, at all. Like, and I'm sure they get hard. You know, I'm not like saying I'm a fucking genius. I just, like, that was not it. Like, all of a sudden, I realized I'd just kind of been following this light up cable, and then I had no fucking idea where the beginning of the thing was. Like, because I had, like, no sense of direction. I was just literally following this thing. Oh, there's some more puzzles. All right, do that set. All right, do that set. And then I was like, oh, fuck. Now I lost the path, and I don't know where the path is back to the beginning.
Yeah, those do get frustrating when you have to go back and start from the first one because you screwed up the fifth one.
Yeah.
But they're not all like that.
Okay. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not you know, I'm not wholesale giving up on it. It's just I just had that moment, my moment of clarity of like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, that was just it. I mean,
that's a weird way to, like, because of how I feel like that game just kind of lets you just amble about, and there's no, until you get to, you know, the challenge.
But you've by the time you get there,
right. But there's no there's no impetus. There's no time constraint. There's no, like, thrumming noise that gets more intense as you wait around.
Sure.
Like, that game just kind of lets you pace yourself. So it's interesting that you got to a point you're like, oh,
I just realized I'd kind of like,
what the fuck am I doing?
I feel like from the get-go, it was, all right, here's a puzzle. Okay, when you do that puzzle, see, you know, you've got to complete these circuits, and it unlocks this gate. So it kind of felt like the game sort of trained me, you know, light up these things because it's going to send energy, electricity, whatever the hell it is, to do the next thing. And so, like, I so laser focused in on this path, like tracing this path of this cable. I was like, well, I've got to see this to completion. Like, you know, plug it all the way in. It's like a set of Christmas lights. I got to make it go all the way. And then to the point that I was not paying attention to the geography at all. I was just following that cable. And then when it's like looking up and realizing you've been throwing breadcrumbs down that a bird's been eating behind it. It's like, oh, fuck, I have no idea where I am. I was just looking at the ground. Like, you know.
Yeah. It's just, it's I'm not discounting, you know, your experience in any way. It's just weird that you like just, I can definitely understand getting lost in that game, because I've gotten lost trying to follow the paths and walk around plenty of times. Just like getting lost being the point that makes you stop playing is really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess truth be told, I mean, I don't feel like I was having a ton of fun doing the little puzzles because
and that's fair.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, if you're going to do
all a
that
valid
and,
experience.
I'm going to get lost in the geography. I was just like, I don't know. You might have a mystery, but I don't care.
Honestly,
don't worry about it.
Fuck, old man Witherspoon would have gotten away with everything if I'd been on the mystery team. I'm just saying. I mean, I fuck it, old dude. Take over the.
Don't worry about any mystery in that game. Just
not every game's for everyone. Either. Yeah,
just be like, you can have that.
And there is not universal praise for that game. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay.
There are plenty of people who are like, you know what? Fuck that thing. And their point is valid too.
Sure, and that's not me. I had that moment of clarity. Of
I guess for me the thing is like when I got stonewalled by something, I just went to another area with a different type of puzzle and was like, we'll see how we do with this. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it was the whole go to bed, wake up,
suddenly you're
first
a genius.
try. First try. It's like just sometimes it's fatigue, but whatever. Anyway, Pinball Corner.
Yeah.
Played some more Pinball FX2 because that studio is just a machine, man. They're always putting something out. Mm-hmm. And Star Wars Rogue One is the most recent table they put out, and that's one of their better ones. It's not great as far as like being a Star Wars tie-in. I mean, there's the stuff, but like they're not using the music from Rogue One. They're just using like classic Episode 4 music. Mm-hmm. But it's one that you always feel like you're activating something, and that's cool, even if you don't know how exactly you activated it. Right. But it's like, hey, I'm doing something, so sign me up.
Yeah.
And just a nice open play field with some easy-to-hit ramps that aren't at that weird angle that aren't at a weird fuck you angle.
Yeah.
Because there's so many tables they have where it's just this one ramp. It's like, I cannot hit that ramp. And for whatever reason, it's just that weird angle that's like either at the end of the flipper or something, that just, it doesn't have any of those. Mm-hmm. And I also found it didn't framp me very often. Like the outlanes were barely an issue, which I'm always a fan of, but it also becomes a problem with the Pinball FX tables where it's like each game is so long because you're not just randomly getting fucked, but it's also easy to keep the ball in play. Mm-hmm. And their generous reset at the beginning where it's like, hey, hang on. It's, I don't know. I guess it's kind of a catch-22 where it's like you don't want to just get fucked over immediately like some of those classic pinball arcade tables would do to you.
Right.
But you also don't want to be a game that's so easy that you just quit because you're bored. But
like Plants vs. Zombies.
God, yeah, that one's terrible. but Rogue One is definitely one of the better ones, I feel. And you can have an AT-AT walk across the top part of the table, so...
Nice.
Sign me up.
Nice.
I can't remember if we talked about this one before. I think you did briefly.
I talked about it when it first came out.
A whole bunch of the tables went on sale at various points in time, so I finally picked up the Women of Power pack for that one as well. I kind of like both the tables. I don't love either one of them.
They're nice, but they're not essential.
The A-Force one, I think I was having a little bit more fun with, which is weird because I like the aesthetic of the Ms. Marvel one. I guess, what's it called? Is it Champions? It's weird. It's like they have weird titles for these, but you might as well say it's the Black Widow table and the Ms. Marvel table. Yes. They're the stars of the two various tables.
Yeah.
But I think I was enjoying the table more of the Black Widow table, but the aesthetic of the Ms. Marvel one, I wanted to like the table more because I liked what was going on the table more. So that's one of the things that's sometimes frustrating to me about the FX2 tables is it's like you want to like the license, you just don't like the table.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Kind of like the Stern Metallica.
Yes.
Well, it's actually
that's backwards. I like the table and I don't give a shit about Metallica.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of them went on sale on Xbox last week, and I went ahead and got caught up. But the only one I spent a lot of time with is the Aliens table, which I think is nicely designed.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I think especially the extra video game bullshit that is around that table is really cool. I like how the Queen Alien will just grab your ball and just fling it across the table at one point. That's pretty neat.
Well, and they have all the samples.
Yes.
So it's not
It's
hey,
not.
the Pinball FX guy.
Right.
Express
over,
elevator
man.
to hell.
Yeah.
Going down.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah.
So that's a licensed table that I think makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only one I spent a lot of time with, but I picked up like 10 tables. So I've got a lot to do.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like I started firing it up. I was like, oh shit, I never started this table up. So there was some other ones I went and fired up. Like one, I realized I never actually even started the Ant-Man table, despite having bought that one somewhere along the way. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to like Pinball Effects more than I do.
Yeah,
like I really like that they're doing what they're doing. I'm not in love with their physics. That's the main thing. Is like it's floaty, unrealistic pinball, and I want real pinball. Digital version of real pinball.
When you boot up Pinball Arcade,
right.
it feels like they're trying to make a real machine. Where none of the Pinball FX ones, they've leaned into it not being that. Because every table is, the character on the left is fighting the character on the right. And
Plus, I mean, I feel like now at this point, FX, I've hit this fatigue point where I have so many tables, and I'm like, am I going to get good at any of these? No, probably not. There's too many, like at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw this week there's video going. Maybe it's out. Maybe it's previewing. But there's a VR version of Pinball FX 2 now, and I was just looking at the layout of that, and they have built tables like you're walking around in an arcade. So they've actually built cabinets for all of their pinball tables. That's cool.
Well, that's the other thing is like it pisses me off that Pinball Effects does everything besides making the tables. They do everything else so right.
Yeah.
Because like if you want to build a pinball cabinet on the PC version, go for it. Where you can turn the table sideways,
Yes.
you can put the back glass up on a separate monitor, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Completely customizable. Whereas like Pinball Arcade's like, it's running now.
Yep, right.
Like
at every show we go to, every pinball show we go to, the customized build your own pinball machine always have a version of Pinball Effects for running.
Because
on
it's built, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You just turn it on.
Yes.
And it works.
Yeah. So
and I mean the VR thing obviously too. I mean, I would really like to try the Stern Pinball Arcade VR thing because I feel like that would finally fix video pinball for me 100%. But,
maybe
this is still it's still a big investment to get into the VR world. And I'm not going there yet.
But pinball does seem like VR does seem like the way to do that.
maybe one of the shows this year they will have a VR demo.
They did in Atlanta, but the line was too damn long.
Really?
Last time. So
I didn't realize they did that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I would have waited.
Was that when we were wrestling?
No, it was like Saturday
we weren't
afternoon.
wrestling.
No.
I remember coming back and getting in line after we went to eat, and just like being like, they're letting people play for like 20 straight minutes.
Oh,
and it's like you're never going to get through the line. There's only 2 machines here, and there's 20 people here, and that means I'm going to be here till 9:00 if I, so I just gave up.
Damn.
So you basically have to befriend one of the VR people.
Oh.
And then let you skip the line or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we know some people. Maybe we can do some deals.
Do
you
we?
never know.
Yeah.
We know people?
Yeah,
we networked the fuck out of Orlando.
Sure we did.
You did. So, Mobile Corner.
Yeah?
The corner of mobiles. I have other stuff, but all I left on was Battlefront Companion app, because BJ and I have both been playing the shit out of Battlefront Companion app.
Yeah. The nice thing about it is you don't have to be mobile to use.
No, it runs on a desktop.
You can run out of a browser, regular ass browser.
They have a daily challenge, a daily siege, which sometimes is like, fucking aced it, 3 stars, nothing died, I killed it. And then there's other times where it's like, all right, fuck you. Here's every possible unit in the game, and here's a custom deck that sucks.
I think it's a test to see whether I will throw my phone in anger or not. Mm-hmm. Because usually the toughest ones that I come across are the ones when I pick up my phone, I'm like, oh, I forgot to do my daily. Which, God, I hate myself for even thinking that. But but I actually like the game. I like the game a lot. I pick up my phone, and I'm like sitting on my couch on a Saturday afternoon, and it's like, okay, let's go. And everything just, the RNG is just not in your favor that day, and everything crits on you. It's if you don't know what the base command game is, it's sort of like a
it's kind of
tower defense.
Yeah, it's a card draw game because there's 3 attack cards and like 3 defense cards, and
card draw, tower defense,
yeah,
circular.
There's 4 corners of the map where the enemies advance from, and there's 4 slots in each of them, they get closer to your base. Your base has shit, but it's so random in that, like, A-wings work well against TIE interceptors, but TIE fighters they're worthless against. But it
and it requires that you have to build a good deck, and you have to play
the main
Battlefront
game
to unlock cards to build the deck with. Yeah. So it's a good companion. It's just a motherfucker sometimes.
Yeah, because some missions, like, you're like, oh man, I got the best cards. This is gonna be easy, and then the game's just like, nah, this stormtrooper shot your X-wing out of the sky. Right. And you're like, no, it didn't.
That happens to me in Battlefront, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes the cards just don't fucking go your way, and they won't go your way for 7 tries, and you want to huck your phone into the TV, and
that's why it's good they don't have any paid transactions in it.
Oh yeah, because if
you would have paid it. There's some of them you would have paid it.
There's some I would have paid for sure.
Yep.
Like if I'd had the opportunity to pay to dump my entire hand or something, absolutely. I would have fallen into that trap 100%.
Yep.
Plus I have $27 in Google Play Store credit right now.
So
answering them surveys.
There it is. Yeah. And Microsoft Solitaire Collection, I did all the daily challenges for a month, completed all of them. That was not easy, but there were a few I had to look up tutorials online, because the ones that get me are the ones where it's playing free cell and having a limited number of moves to beat the thing.
Yeah,
is like, you can fuck off. Like, some of that shit is, I don't even know how the people that figured it out.
I don't even
YouTube
know how
videos.
Free Cell works. I never played Free Cell.
Free Cell's the one I like the least.
I can't stand it.
I like Spider Solitaire. I didn't like it at first, but I've gotten used to it. And like Pyramid and whatever the other one is on the bottom row there, like those 2 I can do in my sleep now. Like, it's
I can play some fucking mahjong.
Yeah.
Damn.
But those are just, they're kind of like, they're almost like blackjack. It's like when you see, like, what you're supposed to do every time you see them show up, and it's just a matter of remembering what's in the deck, that so you don't waste your hand early.
Yeah.
But no, that's still a good game for free, especially even though my month ran out, and they still have yet to put any Star Club stuff up.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah,
they should really put that up.
Even know what the hell it is, but
yeah, what is it? Put it up.
Yep.
So,
we got an email from Ian that pertains to something you were talking about, Chuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Ian says Ubisoft gets a bad rap. Says, hey, Cortorios? I'm going to go with Cortorios.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, Cortorios. Through a strange set of circumstances, I've found myself playing tons of Ubisoft games lately. I finished Assassin's Creed Unity, I've geared all the way up in The Division, and now I'm playing For Honor. While these games each have their issues, and yeah, often it's the Ubisoftness of them, I've been wondering, what's with the widespread cynicism towards the company? They make games that are usually pretty good. Case in point is Steep. It's not something I've heard talked about much. Yes, there's some wonky nonsense about finding drop zones, a weird interface, and some bugs. But generally speaking, I've really enjoyed taking a break from either real life or shooting guys to go for some open world snowboard rides in Steep. There's something intensely satisfying about the way the board handles and carves a path through the powder. Plus, when's the last time we got an actual winter sports game? SSX, which was like 5 years ago now. Anyway.
Well, that's also still super arcadey.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you think it's time for people to reevaluate their assumptions of Ubisoft, or will it take another year or so of good games for them to shake the negative reputation? Kabong, Ian, sent from my 100-watt vape rig.
Kabong.
I think it's just they kind of have a formula and stick to it, and some people hate that.
They do it, man. They execute it usually pretty good.
Yep.
Like,
it's the sameness of
right.
everything they do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yet Bethesda does it, and everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, I love you."
But Bethesda puts out 2 games every 5 years.
Right, I know.
Right.
But
Ubisoft is like 7 games a year, and you have to climb a tower in every one of them.
Sure.
And then they make a driving game, and you have to drive up to the tower, and it does the same thing. It's like,
well,
come on, guys.
It's a good model for a game, but it feels like overload.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like noticing a thing. Like if someone tells you how a magic trick works, you can never see that magic trick the same again. Right. That's what happened with Ubisoft. Everyone said, "Oh, so this is their template." You got a bunch of Skittles thrown all over a map, and you climb a tower to show more Skittles all over the map, and it's everyone knows it, and everyone it's very clear. The same with a Skinner box type thing is like when you know that you're playing a Skinner box, it's like, no, fuck this thing, and they didn't change their formula quick enough. So everyone sees that stuff immediately pops out as soon as you play them now.
I think they're going to get a tremendous amount of goodwill by giving Assassin's Creed a year off and having Watch Dogs 2 be
good,
as well received as it has been so far. Because now people are like wanting another Assassin's Creed game, whereas before everyone was like, oh, for fuck's sake, another Assassin's Creed game. And there were times when there was like 3. There was a next-gen one, a previous gen exclusive one,
and a
mobile bullshit or some arcade title.
Vita thing,
And it's like, guys, stop. You're Assassin's Creeding too much. So I think giving it a year off will be good. Watch Dogs 2 being good is good. And I think they probably got some goodwill after E3 because it seemed like they were about to be subject to a hostile takeover, and they all just came out on stage and basically waved goodbye. Like, please remember us. We wanted to make video games for you. We love you. So I think they're kind of riding this like, hey, Ubisoft,
I feel like it's any company that gets big. I mean, it was Activision was the bad ones, then EA was the bad ones. Now it's
EA
Ubisoft.
doesn't even make video games.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
there used to be a new EA game every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks there was some new EA game. And Madden, was that the last thing they put out?
Yeah.
Battlefield 1?
Yeah. Battlefield. They DICE and sports games.
Yeah.
That's all they have now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have Mass Effect. That's BioWare, still them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, but it's been so
yeah, I know.
But that's
Dragon Age Inquisition was like basically a launch game for the PS4.
Yeah, but like Mass Effect coming out this year is going to triple their yearly output of games.
Yeah. It's so weird.
There'll be a shooty game, Madden, and Mass Effect.
Yeah, like I said, it's just...
And Ubisoft, I think Ubisoft doesn't get credit for... They're putting out new franchises. Mm-hmm. They're trying new stuff. They're not just cranking out same shit like they used to.
Yeah.
I mean, for the people that like it, I mean, like, people fucking love The Division. I got what I needed out of it. I didn't feel the need to go on with it. But, like, that is some people's fucking jam.
Yeah.
Like, that is... They fucking live and die by that shit. And you know what? I mean, if you... Say what you will, but I mean, if you make a game that is like a game somebody can play solely that game, you're doing something right. I mean, it's good for the person if they can, just survive on that one game.
Well, I mean, they had that come out, The Division, and they're still supporting that. They had Rainbow Six come out. They're supporting that with like another year of Rainbow Six content.
Oh, Siege, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's
Wildlands.
Yeah, Ghost Recon comes out here pretty soon. Yep. So I mean, there's a bunch of different things coming out. The Crew was a different type of thing. I don't think it worked very well, but it was an idea, and we were fucking stoked on that thing when they showed it at E3. We were like,
sure, yeah.
We're all getting together.
We'd all just seen Fast Five, and we wanted to start a fucking crew, like, I'll ride with you.
Like, yes, exactly.
And then it was like, oh, it's really okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not what we wanted.
Yeah. I really think it was just Assassin's Creed fatigue and how every game became unlock tower to see multiple things on map. That's really the joke.
And craft shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that and when they started calling everything about Watch Dogs iconic before it even came out, and people were like, fuck you guys, what are you doing? But that's marketing, that's...
Yeah.
But I mean, even like in its highs and lows, I mean, low being like 1 and 3 in Assassin's Creed, but like Syndicate is like really good. Like, I mean, they would still like occasionally just knock one out of the fucking park.
Yeah.
Like late in the cycle when people are like so fatigued about it, and apparently Rogue was good, but it was last gen.
Yeah, that was the
3 years
stuck
in.
on the 360.
Yeah, but I think they got a bad rap when that one Assassin's Creed launched, and like everyone was like, oh, look at the glitches, no faces. When literally that was like 2 people who ever saw that.
Yeah, that was like a specific video card that didn't have updated drivers.
Yeah. And everyone just decided that game was garbage and fuck Ubisoft forever.
Well, that one wasn't great.
Well,
in the line of Assassin's Creed games.
Wasn't that also the one where they're like, well, it would take too long to
I think that was the one after. I think they were starting to build goodwill, and then they yeah, we can't make women, and then everyone was like, fuck off. Yeah. So they do it to themselves on occasion. Everyone is tries to get behind Ubisoft, and then they say something fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So I think this year they'll do all right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're the top dog, I guess, as far as number of games produced.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't help that their E3 stage thing is like a
always
fucking
terrible.
Well, like a rock and roll show, and
right.
Like let's bring on the next person.
Yeah,
we say fuck on our press conference.
Oh, that's true. They do. They have nudity in it, which is always it's like here's Far Cry tits, and you're just like, oh,
I'm at work.
Was not expecting this. But they have South Park.
Yeah,
that's I guess coming out soon at some point.
Someday, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Steep's all right.
I think we really just listed all the reasons people don't like it, but we're kind of still behind them. I mean, we talked about 2 this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to email us. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to, further comment on Steep. Specifically, what he described about Steep is probably the best part about it. It's just the carving down a mountain.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a Zen game. Just let it happen, man.
It's just unfortunately,
just don't try to do a
lot
trick
more.
Yeah. You can actually do things without you can just pick a spot and go down a mountain, and it will leave you alone if you don't go through one of the little ring things or whatever. But the problem is the game, sort of by its nature, wants you to do those things, which suck.
Yeah.
The rest of it's cool, though.
Good deal. So if you want to email us, send it to talk@noquarters.net. Also visit noquarters.net. You'll find all of the social stuff on the side. Got streaming. Thanks to BJ. We got YouTube live streams when we record episodes.
Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Whether that's standard or daylight, it's up to you to figure out.
Yeah.
Because I don't pay attention
that
to
ain't
which
on
one
me,
it is.
man.
It's changing
9 p.m.
soon.
That's night.
Yeah.
Gotcha. 9 p.m. Eastern nighttime.
It's dark.
But check
all
out
year.
check out patreon.com/bmfcast, our main show, which $1 gets you. You can vote on BJ's streaming game.
Yep.
You also get our bonus BS podcast. $5 gets you
Footlong.
Yes, and also
A footlong of podcasts.
No, not anymore. It's $6 footlongs.
Oh,
sorry.
Also a podcast about Doctor Who, Futurama, Star Trek Next Generation, Chuck reviewing old Bamfcast movies. So we make it worth your $5.
We're doing a fuckload of things over on the Patreon.
Yeah, we are underpaid.
Yeah, this
Pay us
podcast
more.
will be like the 6th day in a row. When this posts, it'll be like 6 days in a row that we've put out a freaking podcast of some kind, which is
What the
crazy.
fuck are we doing?
I don't know.
We want to give the people content.
Yeah, we do.
Good, solid content.
Girthy.
Yeah, meaty content.
You pay, we make.
Yep.
Goopy.
Oh, we're back to the shit jokes.
No.
We started with a shit joke. Let's end with one.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Harlow.
And this is No Quarters Out. Bye.
Yeah, one of the first things you said was I'm regular now.
Yeah, I know.
How we make things.
Man, 2 podcasts. It's not even 11 o'clock.
Good.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Mackie's not going to get yelled at.
We're fucking pros.
You better go home and make that dinner.
I know. She's probably pretty
Lady's hungry.
by now.
Fucking pros.
Just standing in the kitchen. Why?
We aren't poetry. We're pros.
Proetry.
We are pros. Pros before bros.
On that note,
Am I right?
You're so right.
I'm
Yeah.
totally right.
way to be right, Chuck.
I'm right.
All right, ending this. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Scott, for tuning in.
Steve stopped by for like half a second. I
It
think.
was like, hey, not Bamcast.
He might have lurked. Who knows?